6 teams, 3 streams. Let's get it tonight. We got another night here at ECL Season 47 playoffs. I'm joined with the one, the only, the gut mind, the up mind, Gus, whatever you want to call him. What is good, my boy?
All is good. All is good, my friend. Still had another busy little day. No child game earlier today, but still technically a child game. I did the party game. I did the fighting party game a little bit earlier. But back to CS, back to our roots. As listen, tonight we do have a big game ahead of us. We are in the lower bracket. We are in lower semifinals. However, we have 2 teams still with those Pro League aspirations, with pretty palpable Pro League aspirations.
Oh, yeah.
Nouns on one side, Elevate on the other.
Yeah, both these teams are really just energized to try and get themselves in a pro league. They've been shuffling up their rosters, left, right, and center. Been upset out of their upper brackets, respectively. I mean, Nouns having to take on M80. You know, no big problems there. But an early round exit there for Elevate, getting knocked down by Party Astronauts.
And it's just tough to see again. You did mention upset just in the hands of Elevate, of course. They just had that disastrous third map against Party Astronauts. But in general, they were more or less in that driver's seat throughout that series. And you're going to kind of see a little bit of an awakened Elevate just coming into this playoff series, into this playoff alone. Because again, this is going to be the first time that Elevate, they're competing in a good while with their coach and their coach Mix. Mix had just driven them right through a bunch of big international tournaments, a lot of big tournaments, period. This is going to be the first time where in between the nights, we're not exactly going to be seeing the same sort of VOD review, the same sort of preparation that we had seen before. It is going to be, again, just a different look from this Elevate team, which I'm honestly just excited to see where are those adaptations going to come from for this team in comparison to what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, this Elevate team's kind of going with the current. It's a very good initial point that we're making here. And talking about Nouns as well, well, they had to face off against M80, who are the gods of the region, by far and away the favorites to make it to Pro League. That is going down on the A stream. As I said, we've got 6 teams. We've got 3 streams. Party Astronauts taking on NRG on the B stream as well. We are the C stream, but that C stands for cool. So, you know, just B might be best, but best doesn't always mean, you know, sick as hell.
What would A and B mean then?
A is awesome, B is best, and C is cool. We're all pretty good out here, all right? I'm keeping it positive, all right?
All right. Everyone's great. Everyone's great. There's no G stream, but everyone's great.
I could, I could be toxic, all right? I could have been mean. I could have said, A stands for, whatever you guys feel like. Anyways, we're going to toss this one off and keep it moving down along. We can take it around between Nouns here and Elevate, kind of get a look at the rosters and just kind of talk through both of these teams. We've been talking about Elevate a little bit here. Nouns, however, have been chopping and changing and have that Pro League aspiration.
And Nouns at this point, again, coming into this month, they bring in that veteran experience. Of course, they bring in Rush, and they also bring in Adren as their head coach coming into this. It does feel a little bit weird not seeing Marky on this roster, but at the end of the day, it was a very necessary move, not specifically to take out Marky, but to add in a little bit more of that veteran presence, a little bit more of that experience in the hands of Rush just in the server alone. Very excited still to see how Nouns does ends up developing under Adren, but Nouns just from a next level perspective, from the fact that this team has way bigger aspirations than the fact that we're just seeing them here in Challenger League. They want to be in Pro League yesterday.
Yeah, and this is their stomping grounds. Like, Nouns have always done well here, regionally speaking, with their play style of just being such an explosive individual team. But I think these changes right before playoffs, right as we're coming up into Pro League season and some of the bigger qualification matches for this team, they want to break free of that curse of just kind of playing second fiddle to all of these teams. They really want to do well internationally, and that's why they're bringing on people like Rush, like Adren in the coaching role as well. This Nouns might not be the same Nouns we know and love them. You know, the CJs, the Carsons, and the fragging that they provide. Right. It might be a different story here for this team.
Maybe a little bit, but who knows? Maybe if anything, their impact is going to be even more kind of blown up coming into these next few games. Again, we still don't know where the impact really lies in a player like George, even though George to us really is going to be kind of that spotlight player. We'll talk about the player to watch in a little bit, but if anything, again, we need to just focus up on the fact that Nouns, they are an evolving team right now. There might be some growing pains, but they're also looking for results ASAP.
Yeah, I mean we can dive into our maps, we can dive into our player to watch tonight as now we have an ancient pickup here for Elevate.
Incorrect.
This has been their stock standard map for the night. And we've also got a nuke pickup here for Nouns.
Yeah, and just like that, of course, we still end up with Mirage. There's still not too many, like it's not that big of a question mark on what happened here during the veto. Mirage is still a pretty okay-ish map for both of these teams. I mean, Elevate
Sure.
still has a relatively tight map pool to begin with, but just the eye test alone, it is just way too good of a map for Nouns not to kind of, leave out in the pool just for them to kind of even bend. Almost surprised they didn't pick it, but then again, we have been seeing Nuke from them pretty consistently. Them getting Mirage as that decider though is pretty tough here for Elevate.
Yeah, I think here for Elevate, they kind of have their hands tied with their veto since they lost Overpass, and they have to kind of pivot around and try and find the replacement for that map. We'll go ahead and check into our Kadia player to watch tonight. I think you and I agree that George is going to be our impact player to look out for. Just a multi-killing machine. I think that's just the way to phrase it.
Yeah. It's simply put, George, his highs are some of the biggest highs that we've seen at this level of North American CS. Just like near the bell end, where near the butt end, where I ended up kind of bouncing out of the scene a little bit, talking about the child game. George was that player to watch for me coming out of the advanced ranks. And I mean, if anything, this player is starting to evolve more and more. He has always been sort of that individualistic mentality type player. And at this point, seeing how he could pop today is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, he's evolved a lot in terms of his individual ability as well. When it comes to moving through the different EG projects as well, he's had a lot of eyes on him. He's had a lot of impact performances with that roster as well, even international appearances. So I mean, a lot of pressure definitely goes on to George, and he typically delivers. We'll check into our little predictions here for the night. Elevate, definitely a solid team, but I'm going to stick with Nouns here.
Yeah, no, I'm sticking with Nouns to Elevate again. They are still that team that to me is probably the more consistent roster here.
True.
But when it comes to just that high end potential from Nouns, those high expectations for this team at this point of this tournament, you do just sort of have to expect Nouns going forward.
Yeah, I think for Elevate, that they have the consistency in their players, I think, and the consistency in how they play Counter-Strike. They are a very good team. Let's just talk about the core. Dare, Shane, Snab. They've been together for 5 years. I mean, I've actually talked about this point every time I talk about this team. These guys are the longest standing trio right now, it feels like, in North American Counter-Strike, and it shows when they play. They play so seamlessly together. And as Dare has even pivoted roles away from the Opper in recent months to being all of a sudden a star rifler, these players have actually evolved with the scene. Can they actually take that evolution and bring it to the next step? That's a bigger question.
Yeah, no, at this point, again, we are still looking for a little bit more maturity, I guess you could say, coming in actually
Right.
more from Nouns, because I do want to see Elevate still kind of stick together a little bit more as a team. If anything, go through some of the highs and lows of this game and not start to falter, them just being down in terms of just that scoreline and already throwing their arms up in the air and saying, all right, I guess on to the next map. Again, this is just that important of a series for them. And I'm really just interested to see if they even feel sort of that stratosphere that they're in right now. It is a different place. Yes, they've had lots of big qualifiers. Yes, they have been part of qualifiers for the major. But at the end of the day, this is still consistency for them. It is what their organization wants to see from them. Them being a part of Pro League is, in a lot of ways, still more valuable than just participating in a singular tournament. This means consistency. This means being in front of some of the biggest eyes of the scene for weeks at a time rather than maybe 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah, and this is the whole reason Elevate decided to pick up these guys. There was definitely the investment to hope that they could make the major. That faltered here. This is probably one of their last chances here with this organization. This organization at Elevate wants to see success. They want to see their players make it into the biggest tournaments, and it
Yeah.
could be the chopping block.
Yeah, I agree. Just in the fact that, with this current core of the lineup, with this
course.
5 players, I absolutely believe that this organization might be nearing more or less just the end of this stint. But it is not like we shouldn't be seeing, again, Elevate support this caliber of player, support these players, period. Again,
Yes.
if it does happen, I mean, esports, what are we going to do about it? But
Right.
still, if this team does get supported, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull a Nouns type move here and bring in somebody such as Rush and bring in a leadership, which, I mean, they already did. They already did have Mix for a decent while, and you did see the results kind of not exactly fizzle out for them, but at least solidify for them throughout the last little time. They were able to beat the teams that they were supposed to beat. They would go back and forth with some of the top teams, but that is a lot better than, them getting absolutely washed and then just ending up in like 8th or 9th for Pro League, or not for Pro League, excuse me, for Challenger. You can't really take that away from this team right now, that yes, the improvement is palpable for them, but there is still that next level that we're also looking for from Nouns.
Yeah, I think there's one thing here for this team that you can kind of say has happened throughout, is that they've always been able to beat the teams they're supposed to, but they've always had difficulty punching up. This is typically the hurdle that this group of players falls at every single season. Is this going to be another chance that's going to be blown here to push themselves into potential Pro League competition, contention, even here? Same goes for Nouns. Like, both of these teams have sat kind of middle of the road. They've gotten themselves so darn close to Pro League qualification, to winning the division, but these newer projects like M80 and maybe even a wild card have usurped them.
Yeah, no, it is kind of tough to compare these two teams to that level, but in terms of like the time together, I guess I do see it because it's almost unprecedented seeing it in esports. You have a core 3 who have basically been together. Yeah, there might have been some on and off short stints, but in all reality, we have a group of 3 players who have been together for at least 5 years now. And if anything, we've seen them dip in and out with this trio for even longer than that. So it is sort of weird to kind of say like, hey, we should expect some sort of improvement out of them, because in all reality, they've still been in that improvement mentality. It's just that they haven't exactly had a lot of outside say in that. That's why I'm more or less saying that, like, yeah, sure, Dia, Peeping, amazing additions to this team. But in terms of the actual mental leadership, there is still that gap for them.
Right. And I think that's exactly what we've been talking about here when it comes to Nouns, circling back to this point of them bringing in just emotional leaders, to be honest. A person like Rush in the squad. I think, they run similar roles here, a Rush and a Marky, but I think Rush is a markedly different person within the server. He brings that extra intangibles, talk about like the Stikos in the scene and the things like that. Rush is hoping to bring that kind of intangible mentality here, and that's to have these players evolve. We know CJ, we know Carson, and these guys just able to have random pop-off maps. George even there in the mix. Someone's got to take that and evolve here for Nouns to continue pushing forward to make these international tournaments. Let's go ahead and hop into Ancient. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for a little delay here hopping in a game on the C-Stream. We have got Ancient to start.
Yeah, again, this is the culmination of what has been a pretty consistent growing period for both of these two teams. Even though we may be seeing both of these teams in kind of a different state of kind of player experience, we are still very much looking at the culmination of their future already here in the lower bracket semifinal here at VCL. We already have Elevate, full 5 going over towards that B area, and it's super, super slow. They don't try to challenge Cave immediately. They're looking to swing together as a team.
Yeah, they're going to group up as 3. We've got George posted up on the angle. Dual Berettas, a little awkward here. Yeah, pass this one back, drop the smoke, backs away.
Oh, but the flash is even better. What a flash from Rush! And George takes full advantage. Able to get 2, not the 3rd. But again, that is more than enough here for Nouns to at least try to clap back. There goes Snav, though, taking down Rush, and we're already back to the 3v3.
Yeah, we got Junior, though, coming through with a cave smoke right behind him.
Junior doesn't end up getting anything, and instead it's Snav picking up CJ.
Hold on, but we do have at least a flank developing here from Carson. The problem is everyone is in towards CT spawn.
Junior again still has a decent angle towards that back lane. It really is just going to have to come down to the 1v1 of Carson, but it's going to become a 3v1 almost immediately. Ever since the first 2 kills came out from George, it's only been Elevate to pick up the frags. But Junior, what a kill at the very end. But it is completely nullified. But the fact that there is no kid. Great attempt at the very end, though. You saw the discipline coming out from Elevate. All 3 players readjusting to the right lane, trying to give themselves the best chance possible to at least hold down that site. Yeah, they go down to the very end to Junior. Junior is just looking that sharp, but my goodness, what a breakdown.
Yeah, despite the double kill from George, they're actually able to toss it together there. With that, I do like Elevate, though, taking some proactive moves. I think if they stayed on that site, if that flank activates, that's going to be an easy kill for the 2 versus 2. But again, Elevate, their strength as a team is that they are very cohesive. They do not kind of play for themselves in that way where they kind of set themselves up for the frags. And they say, if someone issues the orders, everyone else is supposed to follow. And Elevate kind of show that with that CT spawn control with the quickness. We do have a tech timeout immediately. Not a tech either, but a little bit of a tech.
More of a tech.
Have counting up the players. Carson out of the server.
Indeed.
Good start there for George. And I like that little flash play that they tossed in.
I mean, yeah, that had to be a little pre-play, a little pre-planned little thing there coming out from Nouns. I mean, what else would it be? The fact that you even had that smoke coming out so late, I would think that, again, that smoke does at least force the rush to come in a little bit faster. But that timing was always just a little bit questionable to me. That had to be a little bit of a kind of a counterplay more than anything. Trying to see whether or not Elevate was going to show kind of that trademark slower approach back over towards that B side, that more disciplined look from Elevate that honestly has put them above most of their regular caliber here in NA.
Yeah, and as long as they can keep replicating that throughout this, I have a lot of confidence that this could be a really awesome series. Elevate have consistently been able to battle against the teams they're supposed to, but also here for the side of Elevate, they've had some difficulty punch up more lately. We've actually seen it kind of trading like 50-50 with some of the top teams in this region. Just unfortunate that they fall to Party Astronauts in such a brutal series as they did.
Right. But it's not exactly
a little huddle around here for Nouns. I'm wondering what are we cooking with this one?
I'm sure the boys can have a little bit of fun with this one. It's just the fact.
Campfire, roast some marshmallows.
Yeah. Gather at the campfire and sing our campfire song. CAMPFIRESONG song. What is that song going to entail here? Is it a sweet song? Is it perhaps a tragic song? You will just have
it faster. I can't remember the full lyrics. I'm sorry. I don't know true reference game like that. George is gonna find Snap though, trying to walk forward, get that extra space, and surprise. Starting to open up. Dia does find that kill through the smoke, though. CJ could have been a problem. That instead against Carson, we've got a 2-on-2.
And hold on a minute. George looking to cook a little bit. He's still got the AK, and he has plenty of time on the C4. Shane around the corner. He's going to be that 1v1 that he's looking for right now, but peeping. He's going to be that insurance policy. Back over towards Cave. George. Oh my goodness. I've been calling Elevate relatively disciplined here, but George is just straight up backing out here with the AK. I mean, yeah, it is going to help if they put the AK in a pivotal position going forward. They are going to have the buy next round. And also, of course, Elevate's economy just got neutered a little bit. Yes, again, they are going to be able to buy next round. Same thing with Nouns. But the streak that Elevate was building up, it's gone at this point. 2 players are the only ones who survive, and they have to rebuy.
Far from perfect. There's going to have to be a Galil dropped over to Dare. Not all the weaponry is quite in position. Not perfect. But easy snap. Go for some missing bits and bobs, but generally speaking, Elevate in fighting shape. I guess the same could go for Nouns. Sort of, as you know how these third round buys typically go. Missing bits and bobs of utility on their front. Still going to stamp their foot down in middle. Elevate, first round. I love this. Oh.
Works out perfectly in their favor, just because, of course, nobody's here for Nouns. It's a little tough of a look, to say the very least, especially because you are kind of anticipating a little bit of a break coming up from Nouns at this point of the game. But it's going to be a long and drawn-out retake. Love how they're utilizing the spokes here. Just keeping Nouns pressured. If they do want to exit in any way, shape, or form, they're going to have to run through basically a completely unknown angle. There goes at least one of the nades coming back. The nades alone, the util alone for both of these teams has already gone completely low. And Nouns didn't have much more than smokes to actually enter into the site. Here comes potentially some exits here from Snout, but he only had 4 HP anyways. And this is a rarity, to say the very least. All 5 players from Nouns able to save.
Yeah, and a nice little 3-0 start for Elevate. I mean, only losing 1 player in that round as well. We were talking about those finances, and it's going to start to compound a little bit. Compound interest. Good way to make some bank. I guess that's how you do it, by winning some clean rounds. Only 1 player going down. We're going to see a little bit more mid-control again. 0 on A. Right now, Elevate, though, camping out towards the B side. We have George pushing all the way down, combining here with Rush. It's not perfect, though. The break of the smoke, a little uncoordinated. And Elevate pry them apart.
They have to be thanking their lucky stars, though, that Carson wasn't a part of that stack there. He was looking for his gap back over towards Cave. At least this gets held down to a 3v4. Elevate still trying to drag their way up mid, and that is a massive kill coming in from CJ. CJ now needs to re-clear A, but a lot of this noise has come down in B. But Dare just inches his way through the smoke, takes down 1. It's all on Junior.
And Dare does actually falter. Junior on the rifle post up too. Massive here. He is a solo defender. He's just done it there. Dia now up in the 1 versus 2.
Can Dia already start things off hot here? The 1v1 against Junior potentially, but Junior doesn't peek. With the time here of the bomb, Junior's going to take advantage to take an open angle. They spot the arm, but that is beautiful play already with CJ being there right on time. I mean, great hustle, period, coming in from CJ, considering the fact that, of course, Junior gets those 2. Gets more than enough time to call in his teammate. Good commitment, at least, there from Nouns. Even if we did see the rotate coming in, we would have seen at least a 2-on-run retake. A lot better than just kind of separating things there. Good stuff from Nouns. But again, that had to be scrapped together. That was all on Junior.
Yeah, that really was. And just by the fact that Peeping was trying to pull pins for his teammate, Dare went for the swing instead. So a little bit of discord between the 2 squads. Dare and Peeping. If there's a quick trade, maybe Junior only gets the 1. But 2 straight up head-to-heads, and credit for Junior there on the rifle.
So 2 main teams go to that mid battle here for, oh my goodness, Rush. Rush jumping right into the nade, and there's plenty of people right around him. Molly covering him off, but there's Carson up close and personal, cutting off what would have been an Elevate entry, double entry back in towards mid. There goes, Rush. He does still pop out of Cave. Shane is able to take him down.
Yeah, Junior's going to sprint back in rotation. He's probably going to have to replicate something similar. Oh no, that smoke is terrible.
Tough.
Just a really unfortunate bounce. Right there for Junior.
It is still going to last, though. There's no way that Elevate wants to challenge that type of smoke.
They might be lured into it. This angle from Junior is very predictable, though.
They're going to see his arm, potentially. Let's see here. Junior has George behind the smoke. Do they expect the second Yeah, you're gonna see the nade already getting popped out by Shane, but it's a deep nade. Evades Junior. They don't peek into him. They're essentially giving time now for another player to inch their way back into Cave. So they're gonna compensate for it. They're still gonna clear out Cave angle by angle. But here comes Junior. Junior! Of all
That's
of that
bomb.
time that he spent there in Cave, he finally pops out. 20 seconds left. Like you said, there's bomb. And with the molly! You could have had the chance there for CJ, but Shane, what a hero.
That is so close. That is so darn close. And I don't actually think Elevate are very happy with how that round played out right there. Shane going for the swing through the molly. Just imagine he doesn't hit the headshot there. It's all of a sudden a wild 1 versus 1 here. CJ, an amazing effort. Like, don't get me wrong, but
Right.
Shane hit a headshot. That was the difference maker. I think they would be pretty furious if Shane didn't find that kill and it actually went down to the 1v1.
Yeah, but tough, right? You're swinging out through a molly. CJ was relatively ready for it. But again, they still had that insurance policy coming back over towards ramp. It would be tough to see CJ going into the molly, but absolutely, you could barely even see the wind coming out, though, by the very end for Elevate. If that 1v1 doesn't go down, it's just tough that it even went down to the 2v1. So like you said, of course, Elevate still kicking themselves this next round. For Nouns, however, does go back to being high stakes. You have the op in the hands of Junior. Everybody, of course, fully investing. And if Nouns loses out on this one, they're essentially giving Elevate 6.
Oh, this is going to be fun. We got 4 players moving in towards the B side. This is going to be a brawl, Gus.
It's going to be real fast. Rush in the front. He gets rushed on snap with the MAC-10. My goodness. I mean, that is just classic little CS, right? You got the MP9, you got the MAC-10. And it's still 2 amazing little pea shooters right when you're running and gunning. And oh my goodness, at a pivotal point here for Elevate, you pick up basically a perfect round.
And the hunt's on. Junior with the USB, better than the op, I guess. But he is not surviving this, unfortunately. As Dare's going to clean up the train crash out towards that B site right there. And just a little bit of discord between these 2 players on Nouns. Just not getting their pins pulled in time for a MAC-10 to be in their face within the first 10 seconds.
Again, just not something that you expected in the last few rounds, purely because, again, we've had Elevate taking up full cat control multiple times. Basically, the large majority of the half so far has been Elevate maintaining that early cat control. And it is that conditioning, more or less, for Nouns. Nobody expects that early interaction to actually come in, back over towards Cave, and Rush. Again, he ended up getting rushed on and couldn't end up picking up the MP9 out of his hands. Now Nouns, of course, back down to the pistols. And we can just talk about, again, just big picture stuff. It is tough to see Nouns in this type of scenario, but you have to kind of focus up on just the fact that they still have 5 more rounds left in this half after this to be able to kind of pick things back up. You have already seen a little bit of a restructure on this defense for Nouns. It's just tough for them to even get a buddy system going when they're not even able to get their early positioning going.
Yeah, kind of unable to really plant their feet whatsoever and Elevate working the angles again. Rush, there's no way they respect that smoke, right? Well, can actually temper themselves. Maybe an Elevate of years gone by might try to disrespect that.
Perhaps.
They've got 45 seconds to make another decision.
Nouns have actually maybe picked the right spot here. Might have put their eggs on the right basket here. They have 4 players surrounding B. Here comes the exec for Elevate. It's going to be beeping to pick up the first. You have another player over towards Cave. That, yeah, does end up getting the kill, but CJ needs a lot more than just the one there and not able to get that. Carson, the last run remaining in a 1v3. Elevate. Really just hoping to hold on to these guns. Their economy is already pretty fine. It's just that we have seen quite a few rounds where Nouns has been able to take away some of these guns from Elevate. You see that from some of the rebuys. But their economy is going to be real clean coming out of this round. It's just more importantly, in Elevate, you're seeing a little bit more of an adult look from this team. No real struggle heading up there onto the B site. As, again, having that full cave control, they were able to take advantage.
That might have been enough to take down Dia. We'll see.
No, we're good.
He's hustling and bustling.
He's good.
No,
Oh my
barely.
god.
You
Oh
said
my
that a
god.
little too confidently, my guy.
I was like, yeah, there's no way. There's no way. At least he makes it back over towards water, but oh my goodness. 23 HP out of 25. Okay. All right. My bad. My spidey senses aren't as good anymore. This is a whole different game.
You don't respect that ancient bomb blast.
I can't. No, the CS2 bomb blast was pretty ridiculous in the first few weeks. I don't think they've changed too much about it, but at least here in Ancient, yeah, no, it is. It's massive.
Yeah. A little bit more aggressive here towards middle, a little bit looser, trying to go to kind of what works. Carson with the dry fight. Nothing gives. A lot of damage though. Dia though does get posted and actually just handles Rush right there. Goes for the big swing, hoping for a rifler, but instead just meets it up. Really tough stuff.
I mean, it's just tough in the fact that Elevate, immediately after that, they stall themselves completely. Nouns, no opportunities to be able to get any trades out of that. Elevate. And they've just been doing a good job of just getting themselves into consistently plus interactions for themselves. No real big risk inquired with most of their plays right now.
Yeah, they have probably one of the strongest defaults here in NA when it comes to just finding picks around the map. They're just so good at it together. Exec power, sometimes they're missing the insane X factor to blast through a site. Sometimes Shane can show up on the day, but hasn't been needed so far because, again, you have Snap. Perfect element of the default, just going to walk into the A site for free, escort everyone in, deal with the plant, no problem. And Elevate just comfy right now. I think Nouns were hoping for more B presence, but the only B presence that was there was just an AWP waiting for Rush. CJ greets his teammate. Hi, Carson. Everyone say hi, Carson. There you go. Now that Carson's been greeted, maybe they can get something more. They can get off the one. I'm not going to say it up mine because I know you hail from Brazil. The scoreline is 1-7 right now. The silence is loud.
Oh, wow. I just realized that I had to be silent because my cat. My cat started yelling mid-round. Listen, this is my first time doing Counter-Strike ever since getting cats in the first place. It's been that long. I've had my cats for almost like
I love that.
years.
It's my favorite position on Dust 2.
Almost 2 years. But listen. I said hi, Carson, first of all. You know.
Okay.
I agreed with you. Yeah. So.
Okay.
But that was just another cut and dry round coming in from Nouns, right? We just see once again Elevate. Like you said, strong default, keeps everyone in basically some pretty safe positions early on in the rounds. And there's no real rush for them to even do anything in these rounds. It's so counterintuitive, especially yesterday when we saw lag and NRG. Almost every time that we even saw a kill, we saw some sort of follow-up out of it. Elevate just completely stopped in their tracks.
Yeah. They're so good at just changing the pace, listening to orders here. Their default just flows exceptionally well, and that's 5 years experience right there between these players. Dia now posting up. That's a dangerous jump peek. George is just pinned down. He can't leave. Flashbang will help him try to escape.
Let's take a little while here for Elevate to actually get back in, purely because I've already seen the rotation come in for Nouns. Elevate. Got the spidey sense up for it at the very least. They're not looking to step onto a site where they don't have a full eye on where / how these players are approaching. It's just that they are kind of rolling a little too deep here on Cat. They have no idea what this cave presence is looking like. They have zero eyes back over towards the mid side. If anything, this is, even though Nouns definitely don't know it, this is the round where Nouns probably have the most control. Now,
just as you say that, the map kind of has gone dark. These smokes towards middle can feign a lot.
Absolutely.
And that leaves only a two-man B defense. One player was thinking about tending to Red Room, but instead now Carson actually comes back into the fold just in the nick of time.
It's gonna be that peek over again, back over towards the right lane, but no! Rush needed to do something big there against the players coming in from Cave, and Dia does have the angle. George, however, looking to stay in salt, but Elevate, they show multiple bodies there, multiple pixels there for Nouns to try to aim on, for George to try to aim on. And just like that, we're going to be seeing yet another round where Nouns, they simply concede.
Again, Elevate are continually putting the squeeze on the map. Like, just thinking about at that 30-second mark, what information Nouns has, it's basically zero. They have gotten no extra map control. They don't have any information in towards A main. The whole map is dark for them because of Elevate and how they've just completely read into their opponent, dancing around each and every setup. And despite having 3 players, yes, Carson did come through on that rotation in the nick of time. Hopefully, hold on for Junior here. He does need to keep his op. But the one thing here is that they weren't actually 100% sure. There was no conviction on the site hold, and that execute drops in so quickly. Rush just quickly isolated like that.
Yeah, don't really want to say that the rest of the round would have been even more plausible just with the one kill that Rush might have gotten there. But it just hurts to not see even that chip coming down just from that one interaction. But again, plenty of other interactions to pay attention there for Nouns. Still Elevate, maintaining, again, very calculated approach in terms of their early control. They are maintaining Cat right now. They're just maintaining Dare. Always maintaining someone over towards Cat is the important thing. Maintaining the conditioning here of Nouns, not trying to give away anything too sharp.
Look at
these players trying to head over to A.
The switch up is immense. This is something completely new. Nouns have never seen this before. Just yet. They're trying to struggle to get that boost together, but I think they made a single dropping footstep, so they're probably not going to try it. All good. All gamer, guys.
All gaming. All gaming. I mean, what else can you even expect at that point, though? You do at least know that there's going to be one player back over towards that donut side. That's expected. But still maintaining the control here. Not exactly control, but at least the presence here. Dare back over towards B ramp. Hasn't heard anything back over towards Cat. Elevate, though, this is the first time in a long time that they haven't been able to get some sort of early kill and maintain sort of that control. Really actually maintain Nouns being in a more forward position purely because they are just trying to compensate. But here comes again this stacked B site. 3 players here for Nouns.
Oh, and wait, you got rushed with the opener as well. He's been awful brittle over here, but finally standing tall. Oh, but Dare? Are you kidding me? Tracing for the full-on entry. That gives his team a chance.
Oh, Junior does pick up big kill onto Peeping. Needed that last kill there. Essentially onto Shane. You did have one person covering up the angle, but there goes kill onto Dia, and now they swarm Shane, and it's light work for Nouns by the very end. Gotta give it up to Rush, finally stepping up to the plate on that first contact, on that first approach, and Junior finishes things off.
Yeah, despite that just disgusting entry from Dare, who was just like full blind spraying through his smoke, basically traced him there. Look at this. Still able to collect that. Junior stepping in front of the smoke, stepping in front of the flash, and just being a very brave site defense. If you hide behind those smokes, you just give them a chance to establish a post plant. Let's just stop them at the door. And you can do that as long as you stay coordinated. Definitely one of the more coordinated rounds there out of Nouns. Certainly deserved, but is it too late here? Well, Dia, he could have expedited that process. Now desperately need this.
Rush is also pretty desperate in this situation alone, left on an island, and he's able to pick up 2. I mean, that was it. He was put through the grinder. He needed both kills there to really make things possible here for Nouns. He would have gotten that full map control, basically, coming out from Elevate back over towards that mid side, but now things are disjointed. Nouns, they don't know it at the moment, but they might be forcing Elevate to leave that mid side just for the fact that they need to re-clear Cat. And there's Junior with just a singular little pixel that he saw over towards B ramp. Picks down Shane. 2 more to go.
Yeah, I know. Posts up. Oh, there's another headshot out of Junior. Peeping will land one right back as revenge, but yeah, this round is finished. A little bit more individualistic here. I feel like Rush is kind of playing Nouns style rather than Nouns playing Rush style. Getting in front of the molly. Yeah,
could have been anyone in that sort of position there from Rush. But Rush, I mean, what a play to kind of cap things off there. That is good job, Peeping. Even though we're literally at the end of the half here.
Oh yes, lobbing the op over. Yeah,
Junior's fine on rebuying it up.
Guys,
I mean,
guys,
good attempt.
Guys.
Awkward.
Okay, but he can't make it over to the A side,
Right.
unfortunately.
Right.
He does not have. He does
it's
have
just a
super
funny.
speed.
It's just a a little knee slapper. It's just a chortle haha. You know what I mean? Simple as that.
Sure.
Almost as simple, to be honest, with this first play coming out from Rush. I mean, Molly behind him. Literally, the only thing that man could do is play some Counter-Strike and just aim. He'd be gaming.
I love Counter-Strike.
I love CSing.
Computer sciencing. Heck yeah.
No.
I'm a CS major, and no, not computer science. All right, here we go. Rush.
Okay.
Back at it again. Hold on. All right, now we can continue joking.
Yeah, right. Any CSers in the chat? Any CSers? Okay, no more joking. No more joking. We talk about the CS. Here comes George. No, it's actually Dare to get himself the 2 trades. Back over to Rush and George. But this is actually finally the weakest that we've seen this B site in a decent while here for Nouns. We saw a very sharp adjustment coming up from Nouns, I want to say almost like 4 or 5 rounds ago. Always maintaining 3 players as presence here on the B site. 2 of those pillars are down, and Nouns have not readjusted. They're maintaining 2 over towards Donut, and it's Junior standing on his lonesome.
And he's actually just going to call the full-up bluff that no one's going to walk up B ramp in a 3-on-4. All right, now he's
no way.
Step forward on the timing. You know, that's just Nouns Counter-Strike. That every single player is individual agency. He takes that kill. And you know, Elevate know in the back of their heads, we're going to go into an op. They don't want to do it. There's a lot of hesitation here.
I mean, one of them kind of did have to be a hero real quick because Elevate, they do take up that full mid control. They still have that man advantage. Not much you can do. But my goodness, they know the gap that they've left. Back over towards the A site, and you can kind of, I think, see Carson trying to compensate for it. Carson is just compensating back over towards the mid angle, but if anything, I don't think he's going to expect the spawn angle. Peeping, still stepping up. Carson, still walks into Peeping, and it's only going to be down to 1. Junior picks up the 1, but he's going to keep it at that for now. Last round here, and it's CJ versus 2.
What a call. What a call there from Peeping to try and go for the big flank. Now, the question is, does it pay off? Will it be undone by a single clutch here from CJ? It's not been the perfect game, but we know what this guy is capable of.
He can't smoke himself off. He has to immediately get this kill. Even if he covers off that right angle, we are going to get a swing coming in from the left lane. There goes CJ, though. CJ trying to molly off that lane. Like I said before, Dare, he's not readjusting.
It's
the bomb's not planted for him. No way the bomb's not planted for him. It is Nouns chipping away at the very least here at the end of this first half. But it's not like Elevate didn't already stomp all over Nouns throughout this half. Nouns, they needed a sharp response to restructure that weak B. And well, maybe at the very end, they still got to put in a little bit of a chip to give themselves a chance going into the second half. We'll be back with that second half.
And so we are back. Now it's just whittling away. I think they went back to the basics on that one. Just a little bit more individualistic firepower and a little 1 versus 2 towards the end. That's the Nouns Counter-Strike we're used to. That's what gets them through the toughest of times. They're down 8-4 though. Can they bring it home with a pistol?
It's going to be a little bit of a stack over here, over on this little itty-bitty A site. Well, actually pretty big in comparison to the B site, not gonna lie. Peeping! My goodness! My goodness! The site gets made a whole lot smaller just with the fact that we're looking at this one choke point here, and it is all peeping with 3 off the dualies. And Elevate already start off on the right foot to try to close out map 1.
Man. Now that is that's peeping, breaking out the shredder right there, and maybe just shredding up the rest of this map. Whatever blueprint Nouns had. And you know what? I think Nouns did have a game plan coming into this. I did kind of feel like we were seeing a little bit of a different style. We're trying to be a little bit more coordinated. But there was just some dissonance between these players. And it took them going back to the basics, saying, hey, Rush, I'm gonna just go ahead and step in front of a molly, find your double kill. You know, don't flee the scene. Just everyone, if you see an opportunity to fight. They went back to the brawl. But now here for Elevate. They're looking to go up 10-4. And now just Glocks.
And now
Glock.
Yes. The
That was last night's reference.
Yes, correct. For those who were there, only those who were there though. You don't get the same explanation that we did, because we did like a 30-second explain around that one.
We had but we're like spending 30 seconds to explain that we explained it last night.
It's not that long. We could have cut it off after I talked about it. It was more like 15.
But like
seconds.
I think it's funnier to commit to the bit, you know.
I hate it.
All right. We're committing too far to the bit here. It's playoffs. Let's lock in. Dilly-dallying over. It's 10-4. First gun round here of the half for Nouns. They've, in essence, they've got to win it. Look, maybe they don't. Maybe they go down 11-4. Maybe they win the 4th leg. Maybe they run it back. That's typical Nouns fashion. They always can find that just inner motivation, that tenacity in them to make these comebacks happen. But it would be a whole lot easier if they can take it. And hey, this is a great start. They've just gotten this A site completely for free.
Absolutely. I mean, as much as I be chortling, as long as I be geeking a little bit, but yes, exactly that. We do have, with the fact that Nouns, they have gotten themselves a whole lot of open space here. Dare, you're trying to get cut down. 1 single kill. I mean, that's honestly a great angle coming in from Dare, trying to commit to the smoke. He picks up 1. It would have been down to the 4v5, but
okay. Yeah,
well, this is I guess just ancient for you at this point. It's gonna be another full 5-man save, or at least an attempted full 5. Shane with the 1v1 against CJ with the MP9. I mean, boys, you don't want to lose these rifles at all. Now they're just trying to battle for these angles, and they're gonna go down to the trade for the M4. Nouns, not exactly, you know, lost cause here. Like, oh no, they lost 2 guns, but well, they lost 3. Never mind. Oh my goodness. Wow. How? Yeah. Okay. It's actually pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's not the best round. In fact, I respect the decision there from Elevate. They kind of said, hey, if you're gonna hit A, you won the round. Good for you. You picked the right site. You made a gamble. That worked. But here for Elevate, they keep 4 of their guns. They take away so much from Nouns. In fact, they have a worse buy than they did in the previous, despite winning it.
Now with the early positioning from Nouns, you are starting to see a little bit more of a default type approach for this team. You could easily get that recollect back over towards the cat side with the fact that George could step on back. They're going to trust George with these long-range duels. They still have a smoke over towards that top mid spot, forcing anyone to maybe peek into him. Back over towards the B site. You do see a little bit of a setup happening here. It's just, will it actually culminate in a finish back over towards B, trying to see if any util from Junior comes out. good dead air. I appreciate that. Good job.
I just wanted to kind of watch the mini map. I kind of want to watch everything assemble. And now here's your execute. Go for it, Gus Line.
No, absolutely. Good absorption. There goes Shade, at least picking up the one around the corner. George does get the trade back, but CJ, it's all on CJ at this point to try to take down Snav. Snav coming out alongside Shade. It is just ridiculous that they still had to move back over towards Dave, Junior, and Rush, the two old heads of this roster. It is crazy calling Junior an old head, but Junior is going to be the only head remaining. Dane, Dia looking to close it off, and indeed they snap to the head of Junior. Once again, Elevate looking strong on Ancient.
Yeah, just a really nifty setup where they brought 3 players into Cave and Nouns. When they execute on through, they're like, sick, we found the first. Oh, we found the second. Where's the third? And striking true there. Dia also able to close it down right then and there as well. Elevate just stomping down in map control, one particular position rather than trying to spread like butter. And, well, now they're probably going to go up to map point here. It might be up a map here in this series versus a team that is probably, what most would consider the favorites in this one. Obviously, Elevate, a caliber team of their own right. But this is a convincing map victory here. If it went through. So far, of course.
I mean, yeah, it is definitely on the way there. Can't deny that, just my expert opinion. Yeah, I mean, it certainly feels like an Elevate W at the moment. It would have to be an insane comeback for Nouns here. And considering the fact that we just haven't seen any sort of streak from Nouns, any sort of comfortability for Nouns here on H, sure, it's a newer half for them here on the T side. We haven't seen too many rounds from them with the rifle in their hands here on the T side. But at the end of the day, Elevate, they've been looking super comfortable with taking up this early space and just really not allowing Nouns to kind of break down their mental for it, even though you would see a little bit of utility, even though you would see a little bit of an approach potentially in an alternate angle. We don't see any player from Elevate actually backing up. They really do fight for every angle on this map.
The setup is ridiculous. Elevate with the trifecta in play.
Not the molly.
Come on, guys. You didn't want to burn that earlier in the round. Well, maybe they. It gets weird. It gets weird. It gets really weird. Hold on, versus 1. Rush has just brought this down to the wire and spam through. The Cave does not connect.
What?
How has this happened? It was just Glocks. Now it's Rush looking for a 4K clutch.
The rotation's coming in. Rush. He's right behind. He's right behind. He's got it. Unbelievable.
All right. If that is anything to get this team started, that is it right there. A highlight moment coming through from Rush. In the 1 versus 1 as well. How perfectly played can it get?
How did
his opponent
kill?
I mean, his opponent is just left absolutely guessing right there. And Rush, that is the genius call in that situation. He could have went towards CT. He could have stuck to the site. He could have just played it out from ramp, looking for that straight up head-to-head 1 versus 1. But once he planted that bomb, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. He did not hesitate for a single moment. And you can see that's going to force a timeout here out of Elevate. That is a crushing round. That is something that could, this team historically has struggled with these mental barriers. You cannot let that get to you here.
Very simply put, emotional team here in the form of Elevate. I mean, you might have a little bit of an evolution from 1 or 2 of those core players, but at the end of the day, this is still a very young team. And when really things really get going against them, it is kind of tough for them to pull themselves out of that mental rut. So this is a massive challenge for these Elevate players. This might be a growing experience, a learning experience for this team, but they need to land on their feet. Still have Nouns still trying to get into that mid area, not expecting, of course, the op already being in the hands of Dia. But Elevate, they've scrapped together still a semblance of a buy, and the rifles are working for right now, and the pistols are working too! It's almost the same thing from last round, but of course, only one pistol really doing the work. It's the FAMAS alongside the M4 that ends up making things work here for Elevate. CJ, Junior, they need to be heroes.
I think they certainly can. Junior does need to posture elsewhere.
No!
Oh, instead he goes in for the swing into Dia. Thought he had an angle around the smoke. Now CJ, he needs to turn a 1v2 now. For the 1v4, he might do it, but he just falters when he faces down peeping. That got so damn close, but it's just not there. CJ, what an effort. But that would have been a highlight for playoffs. It's not to be. Instead, it's Elevate on that point.
Goodness gracious. Well, there is, again, just that X factor from Nouns. It's just the fact that everyone can really frag out on this team individually. Everyone has played in more or less an individualistic style of CS. I mean, you sort of expected, right, from a player like George, from a player like Carson, but you still do see semblances of it, even from the biggest of veterans on this team, like CJ, like Junior. So again, it is yet another one of those growing pains. Both of these teams in similar states here in terms of progress in their CS careers, but at the end of the day, for vastly different reasons. Here comes Nouns. You still had the 1v1 over towards mid. The MAC-10 doesn't end up finding its angle, and the SMG on the other side instead working out for Elevate, and they're looking to close things out.
Yeah, just Junior here. Tech9 moves forward. It's a nice headshot, but that's bomb spotted too. That's gonna cause a whole shift in the defense here. And now Dare steps forward as well. Dink onto George. Angle was being held for, and it's going to be let go of there by Junior. It is a 13-6, despite an immense attempt and even a full Glock round victory. Elevate just say, that didn't mean nothing to us. They take it to the house.
Yeah, it's a little bit of entertainment, but it is just the fact that Elevate were able to answer so sharply just the round after. Yeah, we did get the heroics coming out from CJ a little bit later on, but that is just vanity. You know what I mean? It isn't much to really actually talk about. It is just the fact that, again, on this map, Elevate did look so confident in the space that they ended up taking early on in these rounds. Nouns, it is tough to just say that they weren't able to just really find their footing, even in positions that we really thought that they would be able to succeed, especially, unfortunately, coming out from Rush a lot of times during that first half. Again, Nouns, they found themselves down in a lot of situations where, realistically speaking, we expect them to be up.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think Nouns really tried to bring a different game plan, a different style of play throughout this entire map of Ancient, but
I love
unable
Ancient.
to. Yeah, I love Ancient too. Dang, it's very, very pretty out here. But what I will say is that they try to bring a different style, but I think they just said, guys, this isn't working anymore, and they just kind of went back to the bread and butter. It was just a little bit too late.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, again, it was Elevate already completing what was expected realistically by the first few rounds of that second half. Elevate closes out first map, and I mean, Fight, at this point, is there any sort of alternate expectations for you going forward from this? Because yeah, we both chose Nouns coming into this game. Does Elevate kind of earn a little bit more of your favor here?
I think this is probably one of the best maps in Elevate's pool, and we're talking about the shaky veto that we, since Overpass has left the pool, Dust2 moves in. Elevate have been really looking for replacements for that kind of second tertiary map in their pool. So this gets a little bit shakier. I think there was just a lot of good cohesion. Like their defaults are just, watching this team default is just very magnificent, and how they just crush the map right there. And despite, a really good performance out of George, 103 ADR, 8 and 14. I need to check in on that really quick. If that's 100% correct, I do not think so. I think it is landing around the 70 ADR mark right there for George. Not able to have the insane pop-offs that we're used to.
No, but it is, again, kind of what is necessary for Nouns to be able to succeed tonight. They need those star players to be able to do star things, and it's just not happening. It's almost kind of mind-boggling. Again, we've seen actually some great performances as of recent from CJ. We've seen at least a couple of star performances from Carson, but it's actually been super back and forth really throughout this entire lineup of 5 who will be able to pop up, and the fact that nobody was able to really look comfortable throughout this game. Yeah, it's throwing a little bit of a spanner into the works.
There we go. We got the updated one, and yeah, about on the nose there.
Yeah.
70 ADR rolling in for George. Again, it's just not the huge impact that we're used to in terms of just big multi kills, big round changing things that were happening. That was actually Rush who was kind of in charge of that over towards the later end of the CT side, and Nouns need a little bit more of that X factor. But we're moving over to Nuke next, and home turf here for Nouns. Definitely not the same here for Elevate. We'll see if they can bring it together after a break. And we are back in, straight into it, in fact. Right into the pistol round here, Gus, as we're taking away Elevate and Nouns. Elevate come through with the clean map 1. And maybe can they get a clean pistol? Well, maybe not so.
I just like some competition, period. It just seems as if anytime that Elevate are the ones on pistols, or even Elevate are the ones that might have the lower weaponry, they actually make these rounds go by pretty quick. But now it's going a little bit back and forth, but this is more the Elevate that I anticipate. There goes the kill coming back from Peeping, but that one's a little bit tough. Player comes out of Squeaky on his lonesome, and he catches him off, but there goes yet another solo interaction from Peeping that Rush punishes.
All right. But still moves being made around the map here from Elevate. Dare next in line, though, and just blasts the first, the second, and then the clothesline coming through from the back end. And Elevate, it was a 3 versus 3. It was held steady, and then it just gets blasted to bits.
Yeah, a little bit of a weird one in terms of the whole Peeping interaction that we saw going back and forth between Huts and Squeaky, but gotta give it up to Dare. Dare heating up a little bit, and that is just simply one thing you do not want to see if you are Nouns right now. We haven't really seen any superstar lining performances from Elevate, and Dare, if you give him that time nowadays for him to be able to heat up, I mean, you get a rifle in his hands and he's ready to go.
Nothing ever bad has happened when they have the default pistol.
I don't know.
Did you know that the Glock costs $200? You can buy a Glock for your teammate.
Yeah, no, I knew that, but like, I always wanted to know the why. Like,
yeah,
in what scenario would you either lose your Glock or you would want to replace one of your pistols?
Because you can have 2.
I love that idea.
Or the skin buff. Oh, they should make a weapon where you can hold 2 of them at the same time and fire.
See, I was just gonna say that has to be in anticipation for an Akimbo update, right?
Yeah. As if they don't have that in. I mean, they don't have it in the game, obviously.
No, but like with the Glocks instead, that would be fun.
Lock in.
Gaming time. We are here with Nouns fully lining. At least right outside of Huts, right outside of Squeaky, but not trying to leave lobby at the moment. You still have quite a bit of presence from Elevate coming back over towards, at least up towards ramp, back over towards mid. But this is getting a little bit tight here. Peeping, trying to push the scenario. Same thing with Snav. And it's actually 2 big picks coming up from Nouns.
And see you later. Time to back away? Question mark? Yeah, now it's certainly time.
It's done.
Yep, it's done. CJ's gonna go ahead and pick up that kill onto Dare, and we got a 2 versus 5 little save going down here for Nouns. I think they just got so much early damage that it just turned into easy cleanup as they waltz into that A site. And there you go. That is something much more like it. I think Elevate playing a bit more gambly with these SMGs than on this particular one.
Yeah, and they get isolated for it, which again, just expected things. I'm just happy that Nouns, didn't just fumble these one-on-ones once again, because Elevate, again, they just seem like they've been heating up little by little throughout that first map. Even though again they did kind of dominate, it's the individual performances that's it wasn't exactly too poignant, to say the least. But as the rifles do come out, as less risky playstyles come into form, I do want to see Elevate kind of extend out their control a little bit of this map. They almost left the outside almost completely open. Yes, they had one person kind of shifting out in front of Garage, but that is a little bit too close for comfort. Positioning over towards Secret hasn't been a thing that Elevate has tried to exploit. It would be nice to at least have that presence for them.
And talking about that presence, it is here. At least in towards Secret. For Dare. So He might not be needed, though. It's actually going to turn into a fast A-side split here. Junior going to be able to steer down Peeping and actually caught in the open dare. Downed by George. 3 versus 5. We're looking at another save.
Yippee! I love CS. I love Counter-Strike. We love Counter-Strike. Simple as that. We save. We have to. These guns are important. Money is important in this game. You know, that's all you like to see. You know, they still have a little bit of utility in their pockets. A little bit. A lot of it. But, yeah, no, it's just tough. I mean, that's the nature of the beast when you're looking at Nuke, period. A-site is just a little bit too tough to try to get a multi-pronged approach going into. I mean, if you just have the one coming in from each angle, it isn't exactly that plausible. And also just simple utility is able to kind of plug things away. But that is, again, yeah, another round where Nouns, all they really did was kind of push the situation just a little tiny bit on A for, you know, really actually getting that full exec out. It does kind of sting again that Dare was the one to kind of go down there, even though he had such a pivotal position.
Yeah, but I mean, also just really good positioning and, you know, insurance policies there for Nouns. Across the board, George always ready to late activate. And that's a credit of just a really amazing plan and a dry run there from Nouns. It is the opposite of a Nouns round that I've just seen there. Continually looking at the evolution of this team and seeing all the signs. I'm going to cherry pick all the signs that they're playing less individualistic Counter-Strike here.
Everything about this round feels as if it's very much a group effort, though. Quite a few buddy systems. It's going to be an organized exec, of course. Potentially going back into the A site. Let's see if it's just a single peek or not. Trying to take advantage of these mollies. This is way too much utility, though, for Nouns not to want to exec. And oh, God. Okay, Peeping is just gone. There still is a chance here for Dia, but he's gone. Nouns, they're cleaning up at this point.
I mean, they just hesitate a little bit. They say, all right, let's wait for everyone to group up behind me. All right. And then let's go unleash the floodgates. And then that shot from CJ is just disgusting. Money flashbangs, man. Just this a lot of wow factor here from this Nouns team in terms of the planning, the calling, and the setup. Here on towards Nuke. This is looking like their home turf, their home territory. And Elevate are consistently getting caught isolated in these very, you know, open positions. You had Peeping tucking away, just praying that his screen would, you know, his LEDs would at least shut off and he would get color back, but not today. Just could not see anything for the entirety of that round.
Situation's going to be pushed a little bit here for Elevate, as we are going to see potentially those up front positions just a little bit more. We could see a little bit more of that aggression back over towards the ramp side, purely just in the fact that we are going to see good old SMGs, some sidearms. But Nouns, they've been very, very content with just putting in all of their effort right now back over towards the A site. Yeah, they do have some attention back in mid, but that is mostly just to try to make that A exit just that little bit easier. They've never really needed to go down secret by any means or down to ramp.
Yeah, and I think they might look towards it again. You have Junior still on T roof, ready to line up that A-side exec again. And now a second wave of utility. A very well thought out round coming through here from Nouns. Now this second wave is going to force Dia's op down and towards the secret side. Emily Snap in a tough spot. Next, he's joining the execute. Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh. Just a little bit of fun, a little bit of a kerfuffle. But at the end of the day, you know, we did see a couple of rifles here on site, but not exactly able to get more than just the one.
Throw this USP or something like that off into the site. Sure, I guess.
There's something. I don't know what he threw, but at least he has at least he has the dualies right in his hand. So it might have picked up another pistol. I don't know. I don't know. I almost want to see a replay of what he drops because I have no idea what he drops. But this is more or less what you expect from Nouns. Good organized CS. When it comes to the actual 1v1 duels, they look relatively dominant. Everyone's hitting their shots when it just comes to those quick interactions, when it comes to those quick swings. But yeah, let's see here. The snap gets domed, and we don't see what got thrown. We don't see it. All good. But
Man,
back to the old grind, eh?
Yeah, I mean, back into it, Elevate with no AWP. Nouns have just put together just 4 fantastic rounds back to back. And now, well, what's the next idea here? I am genuinely excited to see what the next motion here is for Nouns, because this is all a game plan. You can pre-plan this. We're gonna do this in this round, this in the next. The flowchart is running at the moment here for Nouns, and we've got another outside play.
And this time with a whole lot more oomph to it.
CJ?
4 players here and no Dare. That is where Dare could thrive there, but he ended up just getting a little bit of damage. Dia does pick up CJ, but this is finally the first time that we see Nouns heading back down into B, and that is that's quite the call out there from Rush, considering that the players, and they have outside, they're heading downstairs, even though it's not known by Elevate that they're heading downstairs. Definitely a hard call out, hard read, and the fact that Elevate could be heading back over towards lobby. No one's there at the moment, and it's all going to come down to Shane. Shane has so much to deal with, too. It's all him here on B.
Yeah, I mean, he's a strong player, but now that he's revealed his position, surely, yep, Jake's up. Can't even get the first there. I think Shane capable of huge pop-off performances, but we are not seeing it. Wasn't needed over there towards Ancient, all things said. But on this map has been doing a lot of saving.
Which
his first death.
Yeah, no, we love. This is why we love Counter-Strike. This is why we watch. It is really weird though that that's Shane's very first death. Like, how do you? I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. I don't know if that's the map speaking to us. Definitely, the game doesn't give us plenty of that moments by any means. But yeah, Shane, that's it's fun. That's a fun fact. You know, I had fun with that fact. The fact that Shane has only died once. You know, simple as that.
No, I don't mind. And also, like, Shane is... I feel like he has the ability to wake up as a player at any moment. Because...
yeah.
You just kind of play over toward the extremities of the map every single darn round, but I think he's one of the most talented anchors here in North American Counter-Strike right now. The individual ceiling this guy does have, just, I think, might just be the best in the server right now, currently standing.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't show it every single game. Tac timeout, he's 12. I mean, what a team right now. Hey, you're from Nouns. They win 5 rounds straight, and they say, nah, we need to call a tactical timeout to make sure we keep crushing them.
That is, yeah, that is almost unheard of. Beautiful. All right, I'll take it. I take it. Coach Adren is clearly cooking up something in the kitchen. Whether or not he's overcooking it and burning it, who knows? Definitely gave Elevate a little bit of time for them to kind of mentally decompress. But with what coach and what leader, I don't know. I don't know. They certainly do still have the semblance of an IGL, or really, realistically speaking, there's plenty of players here who have an equal say on this team. But yeah, no, Elevate don't exactly have those organized timeouts anymore. But hey, what on earth is this from Dia? Dia trying for the shotgun up close and personal, and Rush doesn't seem to want to cross into that. We still have Nouns splitting up over towards outside, and nobody's here to watch it. Uh-oh, hold on. Okay, nada.
Rush down, and now Dare. It's a single door. He's actually going to let 2 go by. But the bomb is still outside. This is actually Nouns trying to keep their options open. This is some really interesting mid-round calling. They might be down a player. They might have... well, now they're down 2, and now things kind of go out the window. You do get CJ into the middle of the site. And hello, surprise on a Shane. CJ has actually made some space happen. Dare's still out towards single door. Could be a problem, but Nouns with a chance.
They know that this presence is there anyways. They haven't even touched single Squeaky by any means, or just Squeaky in general. That's double door by any means. But there actually goes Dare. Dare actually does burst in and does still take down Junior. Surprisingly enough, it's just the fact that there's only the one player popping out of Squeaky, but we still have so much more work to do. 2v2 now, and Dare just swings on in. Snap has no utility to try to go for this one. The 2v2 might have allowed for the opportunity here for these players to kind of cover each other up, but with the 1v2, Snap is just left scratching his head, and the round is completely gone. Yeah, he might be able to get the frags,
not the ace.
And maybe he might be able to survive, but CJ, like you mentioned, does get the ace. Again, at what cost? You could have seen early on CJ approach that vent situation, try to double up with the player trying to pop out, potentially try to evade what Dare ended up doing coming out of Squeaky. However, period. Good job, CJ.
That's a 3 versus 5. That's CJ bringing it back single-handedly. Like, look at this post-plant situation. It is dire, desperate right now. 2 players come up the vents. He deals with the second as well. He just stays proactive. Round after round. I mean...
light and easy frags, but that positioning was everything.
He's really stepping up in the shoes that Marky's kind of left. This team has been all X Factor. They kind of brought in Rush, you know, as, again, a little bit more of a leadership figure to try and compete for Pro League.
Right.
And CJ has just been allowed more and more space to just do whatever he feels like, and tearing up the server is, that's on brand.
It is. No, CJ again. It's another player that kind of needed to evolve instead of being more of a follower in a sense, more of a yes, he is still technically a veteran presence, but he has always been someone that has been looking to kind of find his own position in the scene. Now on this team, people can kind of lean on him. Here comes Shane. Shane has to step up with the first contact, but it doesn't happen. Rush takes him down immediately. And the advantage that Elevate had might just get not only just broken down, but the positioning here is all in the hands of Nouns. There goes George, still taking back the trade. And this is huge from CJ. We saw Rush more or less playing the same sort of function. My goodness.
See ya.
The double tap from CJ actually worked out for the headshot there. And this is Snap in a 1v3, and he is gone. All right, never mind. I was a little bit of a CJ doubter for sure, but his presence outside is crazy. And listen, he has done way too well this season for me to ever call myself an actual doubter of CJ, but my goodness, that aim showcase is crazy.
I mean, he's not necessarily the first name that jumps off when you say, like, yeah, this guy's going to be the top rated player of the team. He's going to absolutely lock it in. But
what?
Yeah, that was pretty good. This guy is the star of the show today. Without a doubt. Here's Rush's turn. Now time to pack your bags and get out of Dodge. We are not hanging around here in towards lobby. Back the other way, but so are Elevate. They're also moving.
Still, the presence is still there somehow for Carson. Carson.
Oh, he made it down the vent.
On through, down into vent.
Oh, hell there.
It's just the fact that he even just goes through Squeaky there. You had so many players rushing through from Elevate, and there's just your man right there, Carson. Carson. Dipping in and out, you still had the kill coming back from Dia, but things are still down to the 2v3 here for Elevate. The low HP Dia.
Max way to spawn.
Have to see a save all the way back in spawn.
Yeah, it's tough. I think this has been a really tough game here for Shane. Every time he's been challenged, I mean, that one ramp hold, we really wanted to see him turn up, deliver a few multis, but missing today. He was fortunately, again, not needed over there on that map of Ancient, but not 100% in the server right now. And, I mean, dude, 8 rounds straight on the T side from Nouns. I mean, it takes a little magic there from CJ, especially in that 2-on-4 situation down on that lower site. That's for sure, but it has just been straight up consistency in the game plans here from Nouns, and that's something you don't say often. A lot of these rounds, Nouns win is just someone finds a triple kill and poof, the round's over. Not this one. We've seen some diligence, we've seen setups, we've seen protocols. I mean, overall, some really clean Counter-Strike. Like, season to season, this now is so much different than the one that entered into 46, 45, and all those before it.
Again, it is just a more mature look in comparison to what we saw back over in that first map. Just no real adjustment, no real pace adjustment, no linear adjustment, at least from what we could see from the eye test.
Uh-oh,
but this, that stinks. That just stinks. That's through the smoke there from Dia. But that is an electrifying start here for Elevate. That's a man up just off of the shot through the smoke. And Snav is looking for something relatively
heard the
similar.
scope in. Rush
Dia.
100%.
Oh, but Rush is going to get peeked. Good angle, though, from Rush. It's just the fact that Dia stopped the peeking. Rush almost got denied the kill there. Still on the follow-up, ended up getting the frag, but maybe not on the first swing. Rush. Oh, goodness. That's awkward. He tried to go through the smoke, but he still ends up getting stuck. Still somehow makes it out. Peeping just refused to spray there, just so Rush doesn't rush out of the smoke once again and end up taking him down one-on-one. Shane can't get it done.
And now Rush still here for Squeaky. The angles get the better of him. Terrible timing. Now out towards a single door. CJ oversteps. Junior in need of a big round. And he's gonna get quickly traded. Dare flies through. It's out of Carson.
How is it on Carson here? This was looking so good for Elevate, or excuse me, for Nouns. Carson does maintain the angle. Bomb was planted for him, so these players needed to cross his crosshair. Goodness, it almost worked out. He still picks up the 2. But Elevate might have just been given one pretty much on a silver platter. You can't say they didn't earn it, but it was definitely a little bit lighter than the other rounds that we've seen so far in this half.
Yeah, that's for sure. Dia finding that opening pick was a little egregious there in towards lobby right there, with George just getting sniped through smoke almost by random chance. Even then, it still got close. So Elevate can be thankful that they'll at least get one gun round before they head on out. Is that enough?
Shane's going to be delaying here. Back over and ramp. He does get flashed. That was a beautiful flash, but Shane was still slipping and sliding his way out. Only ends up getting 1 kill, and because of the util covering up the entry, nobody from Elevate can spot this cross going back down into ramp. Snav looking for the quick one-on-one, but he is left now. Rush, Carson, both low on HP for the rest of Elevate to try to control.
I mean, the only place they can go down is through Secret, in through the vents. Aggressive angles being held here by Nouns, though.
Oh, no.
This could cost them. Carson
27
needs
HP.
to get a dodge, man. 3 versus 3. CJ, though, will deliver on his fight. And Carson the other. Or rather, that's just Junior long range. Double coverage there. And that should lock it in. Dia, 1 versus 3. I mean, good first shot. The second, not today. And it's a 9-3 half here from Nouns.
That was a beautiful way to close things out for Nouns. What a streak from Nouns to close things out here. And this looks like the Nouns of old. Elevate needs to get back on their feet, needs to get back to their form that we saw back over on Ancient. Nuke is heating up a little bit, but can Nouns just cool things off and head into a map 3 after the break?
And now they're able to shake it up. This is just looking like a different team from the seasons gone by with Rush, Adren, bringing in more and more leadership to these players. They're showing up in a different way. I'm fine, joined by Gus Upmind, the Gut Mind, aka
Better known as.
I just like that. It just rolls pretty well. We got Elevate outside with Util. Got double smokes, but I don't even think they're gonna use it. We are just walking outside. All right, we are actually taking a nice stroll.
Yeah, there's no one really gonna be able to kind of challenge it here. Can I get one of those vamos that I heard from you in the pre?
Well, hold on. I'll give it after this because they're vamosing down into the lower site.
Yeah, there's an actual game going on. Here's Carson, gonna be the little standalone man here in B, sitting in the back, sitting in Ninja. Nobody peeks him. There goes the first, and we were looking for a whole lot more. And actually, Dia somehow picking down Rush peeking out on a little bit, peeping from behind. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna matter. Way too many players alive at this point against George. It just had to be potentially just the presence. You know, peeping could have got that first kill, but coulda, woulda. Yeah, no, fight. I love the fact that you just came you came into the break, or came out of the break, excuse me, with like, hey, what's up, everyone? How are y'all doing? And right before we headed into the game, when we were just in the green room, you hit the fattest Vamo. What happened to that energy?
Yo. So like, I gotta sound like a professional sometimes, and like sometimes I kind of just like vibe it out. Yeah. I mean, this game, it's kind of big chilling, right? If we're in the intensity, you know, if we're map 3, I'll give you the Vamos energy here. Okay, and maybe we'll from Carson. That's a good start. And CJ, oh my gosh, it's a metaphorical 3K out of the 5-7 with the team kill in the mix. He just landed 3 headshots with that thing.
No. CJ might be having an all-timer for himself in this game, as it is just over before you know it. Nouns. I mean, you're gonna see the scoreline a little bit. It's gonna be double digits for the boys. Yeah, 5. If I could get one of those Vamoses, maybe not now, but by the end of the game, that would be nice.
And Vamos! All right, let's go. 10-4 here coming through from. Okay. I'm trying to, like, you know, get my V's pronunciation down. Vamos.
Or if you, I could give you a Vamo.
Yeah, that's the. See, I'm of a Vamos, but you're a Vamo.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, is this
Tale of two Vamoses.
Yeah, Vamai.
Right. Sure. We're just running out of things to talk about during these like dominant Nouns rounds because, well and truthfully, we've gone through so many of these.
Matter, just the case. I mean, that last round, far from like necessarily dominant, rather than just CJ having a pop-off performance. And that's what he's been doing so far today. He's had clutches. He's had a near 1 versus 4 as well, if you remember back over towards Ancient. Now he's going to be set up outside. It's really cool how this team is now functioning here with CJ. Now that Rush is in the lineup, he's just taking duels. He is just enjoying life. I don't think this guy's ever necessarily been set up to be the star player in his career, but, well, he's got it now.
I mean, with the way that Nouns works, I feel as if almost anyone could actually realistically be a star with positioning. Yes, of course, they have left CJ on his lonesome here in terms of this little anchor, but it's not like, you know, that you can't get a little bit of a farm.
There we go.
Can't complain. That A1S is a laser. You know, you could take your time there. They only have little itty-bitty pistols. You're good. You're good. Of all the times, listen, as long as Junior doesn't whiff later, as long as he gets his whiffs out of the way now, perfectly fine. Simple as that.
Yeah, folks, for those at home, do not wide swing, you know, on the re-peak last bullet of your A1S. Please do not do that at home. These guys are professionals. You guys are normal human beings. And they're also playing up against an eco. So 11-4 here for Nouns. Just confident stuff. Now, can they just walk this one past the goalposts when we move on to Mirage? Or is there a little bit more fight here at Elevate?
It'll be a scary look though if we end up making it over to Mirage. But yeah, I love anti-eco. I love anti-eco rounds. Look at how impressive the anti-eco win was. But we are back. We are truly well and back. Again, this full buy here for Elevate, we can actually start to see a little bit of that default mentality actually start to come out a little bit more from them. And my goodness, CJ is having one of the best games so far this season.
They're just letting him say, CJ, go outside and do whatever you want. And he says, okay, I get two.
Okay, I get two.
Yeah, I think.
You think?
Ah, man, I think that, like.
Holding.
Hold on. I think that, like, Nouns have just gone back to the basics. Hold on. Junior, hold. Oh, he nearly landed that wall bag too. Oh my goodness, he's actually on the mark with those. That ain't gonna work, Dia. I think, yeah, that was interesting in the team on 4.
Would you really expect Junior to be posted up there? I mean, yes and no. It's just sort of the fact that, like, because you're only down to 2 players, you kind of just want to see some sort of desperation play. Good hold there. Good hold, though, from Junior. Can't blame him there. But Dia definitely didn't have the right idea. Definitely had a semblance of an idea there. But yeah, no. What am I saying? A Junior would have watched that angle all day, every day, considering how Elevate. They were just running out of options, just scratching their heads.
I just want to say
12-4.
Yeah, 12-4. I think this, again, what I've been saying this entire map. Nouns have redefined themselves. I think they were overcooking a little bit first half of Ancient. Personally, trying to get nifty with the kind of setups, getting a little too cute with it. But now I think they've kind of got that perfect mixture over here. They got CJ just let off the leash, let him loose. And now Carson, he could be in some trouble. But then, you know, there's some good protocols in the mix as well there from now. They're kind of back to the basics. Kind of, you always have to try and find that fusion between good tactics and great individuals. And, well, Carson unable to hold the line there, making things awkward down on that lower site.
CJ's been revealed. And oh my goodness, Snav, Dia, it's all just becoming a breakdown here for Nouns. And, well, we're just done here. This round's pretty much done. Unless CJ he can add on to his classic of a game so far. But doesn't happen at this point. It's still June. Trying to make something happen out of this. It is actually kind of dangerous here. Some of the eco for this team is a little bit off. It's not like, of course, George, Rush, or Carson wouldn't be able to rebuy. It's going to be a long road for Elevate. Let's try to get back into this game. But, of course, could always see a couple of exit frags from Junior. Could always see the fact that Elevate, you know, they were already coming into that last round with pretty much nothing, even though it was last round. So any sort of effect to economy makes sense. Is good damage being done by Junior. But yeah, no, how did those kills even happen there from Elevate? It was all 1v1s.
Yeah, they just went down on the lower site and they took Nouns' advice and say, hey, I am just going to find the entries. I am different like that. Snav literally did a solo ramp take and just para dropped in and just said, I'm going to you, Carson. But now Junior outside wants to put an end to this map. Jiggle Peak game being played here by Snav. He's barely standing here at the top of the silo. He'll drop back down into the 4-on-5. Oh, look at the scramble as well. It is so perfectly timed. Realizing what the adjustment's going to be here out of Elevate. Carson out in the open, just a tad bit. CJ the same, however, disconnected on the hold.
Yeah, it just had to be the reposition there from Carson. Back over towards ramp that he was looking for. But again, caught out in the open. It doesn't work out, but hold on. What a molly. Junior. Can't do much there. Bomb is going to be able to go down. But 3v3. George looks like he was already looking for that early peek, but 2 smokes getting expended there by the T's. Nouns.
Yeah, but I think Russia's just called it as well. You know, looking at those two smokes and
Tough, yeah.
yeah, I think just I'm interested there from Junior. If he stuck around control room, obviously, like the op's important, sure. But if we want to try and win the round, he can fight in front of the molly. And actually, you know, if he gets that second kill, maybe buys time for his teammates. There's some hypotheticals there, but I don't think they need to take those kind of risks just yet for Nouns. They've got 6 more opportunities. Do they want to let Elevate get their mental back into shape, though? That's the big question. Seeing Dia dive through that smoke kind of raised some question marks of what's going on in the comms over there for Elevate. You know, that kind of jump through the smoke in the 2-on-4, if you can remember. Felt like mentally you're waving the white flag. We'll see if things are different.
Dare's looking to kind of burst things open already. Look how deep he is. It's just going to be the man with the USP. But it is sort of still important rounds here for Nouns in terms of that economic impact. They needed a little bit more from Rush there, and of course they need a whole lot more from Junior at this point. And oh my goodness, he just wanted to get it over with, and almost felt like there. But hey, 12-7.
Yeah.
It's not that long of a road anymore, to say the very least, in my expert opinion.
Man. Well, when is it going to be? If it's ever going to be. Maybe we go to overtime. Maybe Elevate have just awoken here, despite being down 9-3 at the start. Or, in true NA fashion, they lose the pistol. And wait, it's looking like it. Rush's M4 has gotten one. And
no way!
PP couldn't hit the shot. Oh boy, we've gotten weird.
It's not only just a head scratcher at this point. You're just, it's mind boggling. Your mind starts to spin a little bit if you're an Elevate fan. Because my goodness, Nouns, no way, shape, or form were they supposed to be here in lobby. No way, shape, or form was Rush supposed to beat Peeping there. Again, all he needed was one bullet. And now again, barely a buy in the hands of Nouns, and they're able to kind of stomp all over Elevate, at least early on in the round. This is the first time that we've actually seen Elevate actually mentally reset themselves in a round like this, where they kind of know that they're going to win. So you're seeing more of that disciplined side from Elevate coming out, but no. Oh no, this is already it. Carson, he's already made it through. He's picked up an AK in his hands. He knows where everyone is at this point. Either they are back over towards the mid side. No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. They went to vents. They could have went down over towards the mid side, but nobody from Nouns spots them going into vents. Oh, Carson, so close to making everything just work out here, but now this is relatively even for Elevate.
Actually, I would even say Elevate are in the favor. It's 4 players coming up through ramp without a kit, and they're taking time to assemble. They've got to go now.
No util too. It's all just gonna be raw. It's gonna be dry. Coming out into sight. There goes Dia. Picks down the one. Makes it a second. Third for Dia. Dia gets the triple and continues the road to the comeback here. The road to the 2-0 for Elevate. But again, like you said, that was looking a lot more like it was in Elevate's favor. Everyone from Nouns went back over towards ramp. I don't even know how that happens. These guys let these guys go down an event. Not a single one attempts to go down, which does make sense. You don't want to just throw out your life. But my goodness, no multi-pronged approach by any means. They just get grinded out.
Man. I mean, that's a really incredible way to reset the round there from Elevate. Just composure. They're finding composure here. Now, 3 rounds straight. They still need a couple more. But you know what? No matter if this game ends here or not, Elevate have something to roll with. Some nice rounds. Able to recover some disadvantages. The morale could be back in shape. Smoke, rush.
The peak.
You feel like it? Nah.
It's safe for now. Let's see. It's the hard positioning here from most of the players from Nouns. They're gonna try to bait elevate back over towards this A site. They have plenty of options to try to pivot their way back in. But again, if anything, this is as spread as we've seen Nouns throughout this half so far. It's not like, again, you see sort of the lineup here for Nouns. Nouns, plenty of quick rotation spots to come back into that A site. It's just going to have to come down to how Elevate decide to pick and prod this one. They haven't had much outside presence ever since Dare made his way back over towards Secret. Now they're finally going to attempt to meet up with him. He's down to that 2 HP. Nobody from Nouns has opted to pick their way back up into Secret. Junior doesn't actually spot anyone, just spraying in a couple bullets, but you have to expect the Secret approach now. It is all on CJ.
All right, CJ, what do you got? The boost is coming through here. Could be a little awkward. Peeping. That nade.
Oh, the nade!
That's going to go right into the big
Whoa!
throw. Now CJ steps up. Can he get any more? Down to 1 HP here for Snap. Carson, next in line. Can he put it to rest? Shane with the trade, but seconds remaining here on the clock. Shane's got to make his way out from control and get that bomb planted. Now 10 seconds remaining. He'll cross on over to the site. He'll still attempt to inside of the smoke. Barely surviving. 14 HP. He's got the digits in.
Oh, and he's still dead, though. Dia! 1 on 3. We saw some great aim from him in the round before, but he has to hold on strong in what is such a disadvantageous scenario. He pops on out, though. He's able to get the 1. Cut it down to a 1v2. Oh! Almost isolates the one-on-ones. But Nouns, they are still looking for Pro League. They're 1 away now from trying to take down Elevate. It has to go down to a map 3.
Yeah, that's where it's going to land here, Gus. And as well, while we were fighting out in that little miniature comeback coming through for Elevate, Party Astronauts demolish NRG. The winner of this game will be facing off against PA. NRG are out of Pro League contention.
It is going to be the rematch potential for Nouns coming back towards that matchup. They want it. They need it. However, Elevate, they're the ones that drop down into the playoffs to that team. It's going to be a long, long road 5 for either one of these teams, but they know that it will be sweet.
Yeah, I think that's for darn sure. And you know what? These last three rounds that Elevate were able to pick up, even that final one, as we were coming down the stretch, that is something that this team can use to get the ball moving. I think here, Gus, realistically, that's what they need is momentum. I think they would be emotionally drained. If they just get 12-5 is what we were sitting at, just as they picked up a singular round, you know, I think they would be out of it mentally. But they come back in a couple of these rounds, put together some stuff, you know, get the confidence back underneath them, and maybe, just maybe, they can make ourselves at home at a really interesting decider. George, not even needed today. It is CJ who's having a monster game today.
I mean, what a game from CJ. I mean, realistically speaking, near the end of that second half, we did start to see more of Rush. We started to see more of Carson. But at the end of the day, when it came to those early individual efforts to really stomp that point differential forward, it had to be CJ in a lot of those cases. So, okay, that was more or less the type of dynamic that we were expecting from Nouns, the type of expectations that we could get from Nouns. But now on the other side here for Elevate, I am just happy with the fact that they even started that comeback a little bit. I'm just surprised that, again, because we just ended up seeing some of those old tendencies start to come out. Some of those, again, it doesn't even come from the core 3. It came from Dia, but just throwing kind of the rounds out of their favor, the ones that they know, the ones that they feel are out of their favor. But yeah, simple as that. Elevate, they do give themselves at least that little bit of confidence versus a Nouns team that was looking real damn good throughout the entirety of Nuke.
Yeah, we're going to toss this one off to a little bit of break. I think Elevate, you know, with some wind in their sails, again, can they take it to the house? We're taking it to Mirage. It is going to be a slugfest. Get ready. Lock in. Map 3. And so we are the last side stream standing here. The B stream is done. It's gone forever. It's in the books. You know, we are what how does it feel?
We are the B
Gus?
stream.
We are the B stream. We are both side streams in one. If you guys are joining us from the B stream, welcome on over. I mean, M80 and Wildcard's still going down, but we're in this third map right now between Elevate and Nouns, a chance to face off against Party Astronauts. Remember, top 2 teams here will get a chance to go to Pro League. And, well, you know, now we're down to 5 teams remaining in the tournament.
Indeed. And it's just the fact that we have 2 teams with pretty similar expectations. It's just in the fact that they have pretty different kind of driving forces behind it. Elevate is just a team that they have been together for so long that it's sort of just expected that at some point all of that work is going to culminate. As for the other side here for Nouns, it is just the fact that these players, they have been trying so hard just to get that discipline, just to try to match up against some of the best in the world, and they haven't been able to break through. For Elevate, they know that it's growing pains. They know that they're young and that they're learning. With Nouns, they have expectations to win now.
Yes, this team has made the changes in the middle of the season as well to try and get themselves into Pro League. They bring in Rush, they bring in Adren. That is the change, their hope that will propel them to Pro League and success beyond that. That is for darn sure. That is the only reason you make these mid-season adjustments. For Elevate, you know, they got picked up with the expectation. They were hoping to make it to the major. And now maybe they're even hoping to make it into Pro League. If not, we might see changes to this lineup.
Right.
And I mean,
realistically, for both lineups.
Yeah, I mean,
we've already seen the changes for Nouns, but it's still, at least for the fact that Nouns, for the level that they want to be at, some of these players, they still think a little bit individualistically. So it's about taking that learning experience now from Rush alongside Adren and hopefully trying to stick this roster together. Yeah. But here we go. We are on the last map here. The last hope for one of these 2 teams. Dia does start off with a couple of taps back up toward the mid side. It is full control for Nouns.
Blast into connector now. Next, as Snav goes for the swing. Carson, while blind, gets it done. Dia now back turn. And had a chance, a second crack at it, but eventually overwhelmed. We got a 3 versus 3 now, because Dare has something to say.
Yeah, Dare had a little bit of a mosh pit of players there in front of him, so literally best case scenario there was to just kind of blast in a couple random bullets as he was flying his way into Vent, but there's Junior. Finds himself a random 1v1 there. I mean, not exactly a necessary peek there coming out, but Dare, my goodness. Second kill of his on the round as he pops out, just trying to avenge his teammate, but this is tough now. George, if he goes down, he's leaving his 13 HP teammate on his lonesome. They're still trying to isolate Peeping. Gotta look out behind. Carson with only 13 HP makes it all happen.
What a power play, and a very risky one at that. Imagine if Peeping turns his barrels back towards the market window, but no, instead he decides to make the proactive play. He knows his HP is not tenable versus the dualies. He's got to hit a timing, and that he does. A second kill as well is just extra at that point. Sick stuff coming through from Carson. Pissed around for Nouns. And you know what? And this is home territory. I feel like mentally speaking, this is where they were growing up on. right here for Nouns. Mirage and a player like Carson, CJ, George. I mean, even a Junior in the mix. It is synonymous with North American FPL. All right. There has literally been thousands of maps, not just in scrims and officials, but also in the pugs as well. This is mastery of the angles to a T.
Listen, man, for most of these players, period, though, we are kind of back on extremely familiar territory. This is just Mirage, man. This is the perennial CS map these days, other than, you know, potentially like a D2 or an Inferno, but this is the one that people have ironed out most of their first ever strats that they ever learned on. And now we're not exactly seeing much of those strats, but it is just fundamental CS in terms of clearing these angles. Amazing shot from Dia, but we still have so much more to go. Dia! Dia continuing that streak. Dia finally goes down, but Peeping still reigns in another kill. Just like that, mission is already accomplished here for Elevate. Peeping can go down immediately here. Hey, potentially he gets another kill, but that is mission impossible. Impossible. Mission made possible. Hello. It is 3 players going down for Nouns. But hey, no, I had to just make sure that my brain was clicking for a second. But hey, we are good. It is Elevate really on their swing back into this game with the fact that Nouns, again, left on the back foot economically.
That's real darn nice. Also, by the way, another we are not the last side stream standing. We are now the last stream standing here as M80 has just 2-0'd wild card. We're waiting for that lower bracket to be set, the gauntlet to be placed on in. I don't know. The pressure of North America is really getting to me right now.
You haven't been here before, Fi?
Ah.
No,
I have once. I have like once before, but like, I like bringing up the fact. I like putting pressure on myself. Hey, man, it makes me perform better.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the
John.
young man with more pressure. That's exactly what he needs.
Yeah.
But yeah, here it comes again. That mid pressure from Nouns actually culminating in the contact back over towards that A side. There is the tap, but for those that are tuning in now, CJ is having an all-timer of a series so far. That is not unheard of, that headshot right there. CJ, in general, has had a lot of great stand-up performances throughout the season, really randomly, to be honest. But comes in again now, where this multi-pronged setup for Nouns is starting to confuse Elevate. George is able to rein in a random shot from Palace and Elevate. They break down from the fact that Nouns had way too much control.
This whole round is just so beautiful. This whole round was just so magnificent. I mean, who was the player out towards the top of connector? I believe that was Dare. He was dead at least 3 times over. Not just from top connector, not just from George and Palace, but also the planking rush. And then a perfect pop flash into CT spawn. Like, there is multiple backup plans and bases covered here by Nouns already. Like, what I just saw out of that first gun round was magnificent. Again, it's not the Nouns that you're used to. It's not the individual battle and brawl where we're saying everyone gets their one. Lot of setup in the mix.
It's just been a little bit weird in that case too, where Nouns, it hasn't felt like they've needed the individual performances, but it certainly has been coming out a little bit throughout this series. But again, we have seen some individual fumbles throughout the last 2 maps. You know, I'm not going to name too many names. Not going to name any names. You know, I'm not going to name any names. For those who are here, you're the real ones. You're the C Stream squad. That's what I call you now.
Yeah. Alliteration. Heck yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Alliteration rock. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry if my enthusiasm absolutely blew you away. Sorry.
I got the Vamo that I wanted from you earlier, the Vamos that I
and then it just hasn't materialized.
Yeah, it was like it was an understated Vamos.
All right, we got a little flashbang action here in towards A-Main. Okay, the double and the extras from B-Main. We got a 2 versus 4. DL also popping off a couple shots. Awkward scene. Still a minute on the clock, though, to work with.
It's just awkward for CJ because he knows that he can potentially take up a little bit more space, but the MAC-10 from long range, not something you can exactly trust, but at least goes for it. He at least picks up the one other player around the corner. Shane just has a deagle. And oh my goodness, CJ is actually still making this possible, making a little bit of a red carpet for Carson to try to help him out back towards site. Carson, full HP, does have the head armor. But will it count versus the deagle of Shane? Will they expect the positioning back over towards Tetris? No, they will not. Dare takes up Carson, and that is basically the round done there. CJ, he's going to get flanked on right now, and all they need is a body shot.
Just the double kill coming through from Dare. I think Nouns, they had superior position, but Dare just runs them down with the new age pocket AK. 20 bullets and one bullet headshots for $500 a piece. That's all I could really say about that round. Other than that, Elevate just put together the perfect crossfire to lock everyone out. Now they're just booming with economy here. But nothing towards middle here for now. It's just a single smoke into the execute, and it's just Shane.
And can't do much. Like you said, it is just him for now because of the smokes coming in back up towards jungle. And Shane just continues his reign of terror. Somehow is able to get 2 out of that. And
okay.
oh goodness. Okay, goodness. CJ is looking for something early back over towards spawn, but that is kind of surprising that Nouns was actually able to bring this back immediately into a 3v3, but damage is getting rounded up here against Nouns. As you do have CJ down to 19. Kristen, more fully HP person here. He's the one that needs to be the spear here for this team. It just does not happen. No defuse coming in right now. CJ's looking in for a random spray. He's able to reload. Just 19 HP again. All they need is a single bullet. And indeed, finally, Dia ends up getting it, but it didn't have to be a headshot. You know, simple as that. But big round from Elevate.
Got close. It actually got very close when it comes down to just on the headshot there. CJ had a chance. But yeah, I think that kind of smoke in the middle of the site that George tossed in kind of allowed him to get run down by those CTs. Tried to keep him guessing with that extra cover. Maybe he might think again about that, how his teammates can play off of him properly on the site.
Right.
So, tack timeout called in here from Nouns. Wondering what exactly they're trying to sort out. I think that first one that they lost, that double kill from Dare, that's mostly just unfortunate. That's just Dare having a field day. That one, not necessarily. They got the space they wanted. But, I mean, Shane did provide some problems towards the tail end.
I know we've reached sort of just the expectation here for Elevate ever since they finally started to break down that mid approach from Nouns. We made it to the anti-eco from Elevate. It's not that Nouns are actually giving themselves a decent chance to really get into this one. That Molly alongside the nade would have stopped anything early on, but Nouns separated at the moment. Exactly putting themselves in the best position to be able to succeed. But again, this is Nouns that we're talking about. Whenever these guys are actually let off the leash and they're able to kind of pretty much just be able to play their game. And when we mean their game, you know what George Jr. and the majority of these players can do. But no, not against a guy like Dare. Dare has been honestly increasingly more impressive, as the years have gone by. You know, he is still a young man, but he's been here for a while.
Yeah, and he's also just transitioned into a rifler as well,
which is crazy. Yeah, he was an opper the last time that I looked at this.
Yeah,
I looked at this
and he has been playing the best Counter-Strike of his entire career as a rifler,
which is again also crazy. Yeah, should have mentioned that too. It is just wild again that Dare has made that transition not only possible, but I mean, he is honestly just one of the more consistent riflers, at least in this season, that I've seen so far from him.
See if he can deliver here on the map of Mirage. Definitely his stomping grounds. Now, out. Oh, it's George. Oh, it's George and A-Man. You try to 1v1 versus him. He learned his lesson versus Dare. George is not missing now. Look at this from CJ. Oh, this is a ridiculous play right now. Round the edge of the smoke. He finds it on the Dare. Dia dead next. And suddenly it's a 2 versus 5.
Oh, and Shane is just left swiveling his head around side. He had no idea where to actually go from there. It is crazy that Carson does find the timing there from Palace to get the player coming out of jungle, and that is just simply unfortunate for Elevate. I mean, they had such a trap set up there for Nouns. If Nouns really made their way onto the site in a linear fashion, not again in that mid control that they've maintained, and of course not with the individual push coming out from CJ, it would have been kind of just back to the old grind there for Elevate. Each player controls a relatively light and easy angle for themselves, one and dones mostly, but knowing most of these players from Elevates, it's more like a 2 and done.
she goes. Bomb up in smoke there for Nouns. And yeah, dare you try to challenge George out towards the ramp. I think he made a single footstep and, you know, neuron activation, swing him. It's
Yeah.
George, though, on the other side. I think like, there's so much talent here in the server, but George, I think a lot of people have thought of him as one who could potentially go international, beyond like some of the best teams here in North America. People were joking about Team Liquid George in his heyday. All right, maybe they need him. I'm just saying.
Are you saying the heyday is already gone?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I'm just saying the best he's been in the past. We'll see if it's right here, right now, though. Peeping
Right.
back sight, drops his molly, but Carson has found his double right back. Even Jiggle beating the op, because why not?
Oh,
Smoke
goodness.
as well,
What a
and
jump from Junior and an even better shot.
even better. Yeah, Dia gonna try and make his way through the smoke, but I think he's locked out. They gotta consider a save.
Definitely contemplating it, but with an op there in market, you could absolutely still pick around little by little. See if you can gather the one. As long as Nouns hasn't planted, I mean, somebody has to cross into sight for that to be able to happen. Again, there is no risk here for Dia, just to stay perched up. If anything, it is just going to be the danger of a flank coming in. But, yeah, the ever-shifting Shane ends up coming out.
What?
And, oh, goodness, there's Junior playing his own game there.
Oh, dude, he's just re-peeking. Junior's re-peeking, guys. Everybody, stand down. Yeah, when Junior starts re-peeking, that's when things get scary. I don't think he's been doing that more so this series. Hasn't necessarily had all the crazy off highlights, but he's on Mirage. He's feeling confident. Nouns are feeling hot, and they want to take Elevate out of Pro League contention.
Of course, the narrative that you just laid out might just you know, be reinforced, because this next one, of course, isn't going to be as difficult as we've seen here from Nouns in the last
What do you think?
few. There's no way it happens again, though. The last time we saw Elevate on the pistols, yes, we did see the win come out over Nouns. Actually, no, that's been kind of a theme, to be honest. What we've seen, 3 pistol wins so far, anti-eco wins, or eco wins, excuse me, in this game so far. Am I crazy? Question mark?
Yeah, something of that sort. I know we saw a couple. We've already seen one this game, by the way, courtesy of the
Right.
Eagles. And well, let's.
At least 2.
Like, I'm not saying like let's stop
No
avoiding
way.
it. Oh boy, that's another one out of there. Any takers? Any more?
Scary things.
The rest's not necessarily meant to be. You need to hit 5 Deagle headshots, not just 2.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's sound logic. That's that makes
Sage advice,
sense.
guys. You can.
Expert analysis over here.
I'm a
as
psychic
we've
like
been-
that. So
As I've been preaching. But listen, no, we're back to gaming. We're back to the counting of strikes. It is finally going to be the rifles back in the hands of Elevate, and hopefully these more advanced positions for Elevate don't get taken advantage of relatively early. And also just the fact that Nouns, they've been putting up so much pressure back over towards the mid area. Dia, he's looking to challenge it, but there's only going to be 1 player there. However, because of the repivot, 4 CT players are here on A, for now that is. We only have 1 player already backing up. Carson needs this win. Indeed, he gets it. Only 1 player is here on site, and he's gone. Elevate. They backed out Dia almost immediately, but Dia is still here to put in a little bit of effort. It is just crazy how the repositioning happened so early and so swift there for Elevate, and they're still able to land on their feet relatively. Still Dia and Peeping.
yeah, but I think Dia is kind of trapped out towards Ticket. It'll come down to Peeping, but he's not going to make an individual move. Dia, top Ticket right now, but if he drops down, surely he's dead to Rush. Or is he? Rush extends instead. We've got a 2-on-2. And Junior, he just lets go of the angle. Peeping, he gets into the sight. He lands a headshot. It's up to Carson here.
And Carson's plugged out the nade. Dia's the only one lit, and it's not enough. Defuse will go in time, and that is another one being slipped right under Nouns. It almost feels like every single time that we've seen Elevate be able to slip away around so far in this map, it's been kind of a miracle. It's been well hard fought.
I mean, yeah, every single round is a battle. Nothing is over instantly. While that round, that idea was perfect from Nouns, just selling a ton of mid presence. Carson walking through the smoke as the execute drops in. But just salvaged by some individuals. Some X Factor showing up here for Elevate. We set Mirage to be a slugfest. It's delivering so far. Dia no op shot connection. Mid control established once more here for Nouns.
Just crazy positioning from Dare. They can keep baiting these players from Nouns deeper and deeper back into main, but oh goodness, Dare. Oh goodness, Dare. Dare steps up, and Carson on his lonesome. Could have been able to find some fun angles back towards site. Dare almost getting himself into an interaction back over towards B apartments, but it is going to be the entry from Nouns. It is surprising, very simply, that there is nobody here, but Carson, just him dying alone, was what gave the opportunity for Nouns here. Junior. No, Junior! The timing is insane! And now he just might get wide swung here by Dare. He re-peaks! But that is Junior on his best right now.
Yeah, he's re-peeking. He's in the zone. They're gonna need a little bit more of that. 4-on-4 here into the site.
CJ has the first contact, but we have two more players looking to swing at the moment, and indeed it is Rush taking down the first. Needs to rely now on George right behind him. You still have the cross back up towards Cat. CJ finally executes. CJ still spraying in a little bit, and George is going for the knife. Dia just doesn't have time to execute here. It was all down to George and CJ. If Junior doesn't get that kill back over in apartments, everything just breaks down, sure. But Nouns, they have the real good trifecta on site that ends up working out.
Yeah, it's Rush finding that initial, but it's really CJ. Again and again and again this series, he just keeps delivering. I don't know
it's his series.
Where it really is, and it's not even that though. It's not just his series. It's honestly been his tournament. He's really been set up here. Now linking together with Rush, he's put into the power positions. He's gotten himself comfortable. He's feeling individually on fire. Now the swing comes through. Nade does obscure, but the spray down's good enough from Rush. Just Dia. Okay, but he's
does get and at least gets the one, but Junior, good tracking for the mans. Dare is still in a good position. Don't get me wrong. This 50-50 is just way too scary for CJ. And indeed, though, it comes out in the hands of Dare and Nouns. They did not let off the gas pedal after finally taking up an early lead. I mean, actually, it's really been Elevate, stomping all over Nouns in the early portions of these games. But fine, as we look once again, Nouns, they're the ones with the advantage, and Elevate, even though we've seen this team kind of just be a little bit, I guess you could say, immature, we are seeing a little bit more advanced of a version of them, perhaps more disciplined.
Yeah, we're going to toss this one off to a bit of a halftime break. We got an 8-4 half. Both teams locked and loaded. And
Welcome
so,
on back.
let's go. 8-4. Let's rock.
Counter-striking. I love it. I love me some late-night Counter-Strike. Nouns and Elevate. Again, this is a peak here for Nouns, as in the fact that they've been relatively on the back foot throughout this entire series. Elevate. This is a little weird here. Peeping. The only person to kind of hold things off as the utility gets set up for the rest of Elevate. Nouns now already facing on the pressure. Back into sight. Peeping. Dia do pick back a couple picks. And Junior, he's already going to be left off on his lonesome. And that's more or less what you expect there after that first interaction went awry.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, there, I think trying to step forward into the execute as they're pulling pins and such, but someone's already on the angle with the quickness. Clean kill here from Rush, but a whole lot more on plate. Dancing around the site. Question is, where's the kit? And, well, there's a couple players there. He was dead twice over. As Elevate will pick up a pistol to keep their Pro League chances alive.
Not desperately needed, though, because once Nouns gets any type of momentum, as we saw back in the second map, we do start to see a little bit more comfortable play from players like Junior, players like George, as... Again, we marked George as being sort of that player to watch, and we really only saw we only started to see a little bit of an effect of him once Nouns was actually kind of on that front foot, was actually starting to get up. But Elevate, again, doing a good job of at least keeping Nouns' expectation relatively realistic. There's always that sort of humbling moment from Elevate onto Nouns, whether it be the stray eco, whether it be the SMGs coming out, change of pace. What they've been known for throughout this game has been their stellar defaults, with realistically everyone just kind of doing their job. Once you already get down to the 4v5, the 3v5, you do start to see that breakdown from Nouns anyways, and the rest of the team is able to follow up. But just in terms of the early interactions, the default getting into the right early positions, right angles, Elevates has done that almost perfectly to a T. We're not seeing that too much right now in terms of just hard defaulting, but it is a little bit more clumping up, safe clumping up here from Elevates as they do face the weaker weaponry.
That is really nice there from Rush. He saw a player, he got nade tossed at it. It did not draw a single rotation. We still got 4 players over here towards that A site as 4 players move up con.
Oh, this nade. They're already going to burst things open here, and it actually allows Junior to get in the pick. Nobody knows where Junior is. He's just shifting around. He ends up getting 2 out of it, and this is once again that sort of moment here for Nouns, just with the missiles. Looking to humble Elevate, and this one is just a head scratcher. Elevate, for the first time in a while, when they're in any sort of advantage, again, like I said, they clump up. They start going up as a team, and that's expected, right? That's the safe thing to do, but it goes against Elevate.
Yeah, it's just the positioning there from Junior around the edge of the smoke. He understands what's coming his way, and maybe Elevate over anticipating potential rotates over to that B site. Is a ton of discipline being shown there by Rush. He got a nade tossed at him. He waited and just went right back to jump spotting as if nothing had happened. Maybe on old Nouns. I know Nouns are just so well known for their insanely fast rotates. They just throw bodies at the problem. They hold on. They stay disciplined. Carson hunts some meeks. I can't really call them meeks. This is a full-blown force buy from Elevate.
This one even feels a little bit more defaulty in comparison to the round that we just saw before. A lot more spread coverage coming in from Elevate, and it's just funny saying that out loud, considering that they just have pistols. Still Nouns maintaining some actually really safe positions right now. Junior, he restricts himself from really most angles at this point. He's only really going to get pressured out by 2 angles. It comes down to snipers, comes down from the mid side. That is if he sticks here in jungle. There you go. Like I said, Junior, that was one of the only things that he needed to worry about. No mid presence. Junior knows for a fact that, there could be a couple more. But yeah, no, the bullet just magnets to the head of Shane. And okay, looking for another one. Doesn't happen.
I didn't have actual belief that someone was truly there. And believe it or not, that's actually 2 rifles here. He's like, hello there. Now 2 players are armed. Is Rush just going to walk through Myrtle? Oh, yeah. Yes, he is. And George is going to stall this one out. He's at least going to try and nade the plant. There you go. Rush wasting no time. Getting activated. A bomb plant is what Elevate will get. But double digits now for Nouns. And the question is here. Elevate, do you just force buy to oblivion? Do you force buy your entire ESL Pro League chances away after this? They got themselves a bomb plant. They have a little bit of loss bonus to back it up. This is the decision that decides the season.
They can't force. There's no way. It'll still lead them down to the 11-5, but still, Elevate. They need to put themselves in the best place possible, best position possible for them to succeed. And this, with the Deegs, they are still going to be able to buy pretty confidently in that next round anyway. So they're at least giving themselves some sort of firepower coming into this round. But again, it is just funny that we're seeing more of a default from a team that are just on pistols. And the one round where they had the guns, they essentially just put all of their eggs into one basket. But again, I digress. It is Nouns still playing up more or less just those safe contacts that we've seen. It is Carson, though, who is very wary of the fact that he is in very murky waters. Nobody there realistically to trade him. Dare is on his lonesome trying to find anyone, trying to shift out of jungle. Doesn't find it. But the decision is already made here for Elevate. And more importantly, the future or the timeline here of this game is pretty much already decided. Elevate, they have to stay pretty much perfect from here on out after the 11-5.
Hold on, it's not done yet. They've actually gotten out of A main. There's a bigger problem which they need to cross. And
what?
Okay, that was not a headshot. That was not a headshot. That was not a headshot. But it was. So.
But it was.
Who am I to say? Game's right all the time. So you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never doubt.
I love counting strikes. Absolutely, absolutely. Dia, come on. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right, yeah. Don't run away. Accept your demise. And that he does.
Okay. I like how Junior even dropped the up to. That's a smart one. Smart little man. Disciplined little man. I love to see people growing up. Growing up right in front of our eyes. It's beautiful.
Oh boy. And we might see Nouns glowing up further down the bracket here into top 4.
This is it.
I mean, it's wild to say that NRG are out of Pro League contention as well. That probably the biggest name org in this whole tournament. Tried to build a team from what was left over of Evil Geniuses. The best parts of it that did not work out. Now, mid-aggression. Carson on the angle with Junior, but some missed shots. We got a 3-on-3.
Dare still left on his lonesome right now. Still just trying, if anything, just trying to hold up for the player in lower. But no way. The combination happens. And the player in lower can't do anything. And what a rush. What aggression. Coming back over towards Palace. Coming back over towards A. I mean, that was Nouns well and truthfully playing their game that round.
They're just gonna walk it in. Is that seriously just how it's gonna be? We're set up for an intense map of Mirage, but right now Nouns are just walking all over Elevate on this seat. But it feels just a bit different when Rush is also in the picture. He's playing such disciplined Counter-Strike over to the B site. We're back at mid again.
Carson, this is it. This could already put the stamp of approval from Nouns on this game. just with one single play over towards top mid. Now it's going to be a double swing. And we are far from done. At least in this round too, but we are far from done. In map number 3, we are far from done with Elevate's season here in ECL. Junior, and it does pick up the 1 kill. And actually does have time to potentially knock in a little bit of damage. But this is, yeah, all right. Good attempt. Good attempt. Good college effort, right? Simple as that. Save there would have been nice though.
Yeah, I mean, he still's got cash, but that's going to quickly run out.
Right.
Elevate with probably their biggest hurdle that they need to jump over here. They need to break the bank of Nouns in this round here. If not, well, they've lost the round and it's over, and they're out. The months-long season here, the grind, with over, gotta be over 30 best of ones, just vaporize in front of you. Months of gameplay. And a playoff bracket as well. Hinges on this here.
Again, it is just the consistency of playing in Pro League. You can qualify for a big tournament. You can get about a week of exposure. That's about it. You get yourself in front of a big crowd, sure. But the consistency of being on that Pro League stage for what feels like months at a time, for at least multiple weeks, is valuable for these orgs like Nouns, like Elevate. The stakes are there. Carson looking to follow up. Dia actually finds Carson, and George bites down a little bit more. And you could chew, and there's Junior, at least bringing out the round back to even. But you still have Peeping. Dia recollecting themselves back over towards top mid. They're going to stick together right now. They're not trying to two-prong anything. Look at their util, though. They have double smokes. Are they even going to smoke connector? Junior, what a flick! Both players are incredibly low, and they might be heading straight to the jaws of the beast.
They think that Rush is the B player. They think Rush is the B player, but he's here the entire time inside of the smoke. Is he gonna? He's just gonna let him plant.
No way.
He's just gonna let him plant. In the 1 versus 1, Rush, he's gonna take his time. He's gonna go for the headshot. He's gonna use it against them. He's gonna try and use the smoke against them here.
It's just still the one-on-one. Dia has an even one-on-one. Doesn't know that it's still not being diffused. Headshot potential for Rush. He just needs the body shot, and he denies the hopes of Elevate. Nouns continue their run in ECL and their drive for Pro League.
Goes down to the wire. It needed to go down to the wire right there for Rush, but able to put it together. The trickery here from Nouns across the board series-wide. I mean, what a series so far, and really just the evolution of this team game after game. I feel like this is a team that it's just different from other seasons. You bring in Rush, you bring in Adren, and you're bringing in just more discipline. You don't have the insane fragging power that Marky provides. A lot of people brought in question marks about that, but Rush's discipline that he showed in the server, you know, you don't need just relentless fragging to win. You can also win with the brain power here. A solid 1 versus 2 just to cap it off, just to prove me right.
I mean, well and truthfully, you can see the vision here with Nouns in terms of their player moves. They are thinking about that next level, how to get to that next level. They already know that they have a proven product in terms of Rush on their team, in terms of being able to be at that next level, to be at that upper echelon of Counter-Strike. And with Adren, it is just furthering discipline into this team, furthering, of course, just even being confident in a game plan. They don't need to put all of their chips into one bat, all out, all on the table. There you go. I had to get my metaphor right.
I mean, I put chips in a basket too sometimes, my guy.
Right. But no, yeah, right, whatever. But listen, it is still a fact here that Nouns, they are truly on a drive here to change the image of their team. And it looks as if, you know, they're succeeding for now. It is, again, a team in terms of Elevate where we have been looking pretty desperately for more of those big individual performances, and we simply did not see too much of that today. Still consistent, good play. That's what we've known Elevate to be. They have a good base level here for ECL. It's just that, again, that next level isn't there for them.
Yeah, talking about a key player to watch as well in terms of George. We were waiting. We were like,
tough.
Guys, I swear he's really good. He'll show up eventually. He wasn't needed this entire series. CJ was actually the player to really step up in this new system. he was just let off the leash and left to do whatever he want, and he did so much. He was a multi-killing machine throughout this entire series. Junior playing Mirage, yeah, it's Junior on Mirage. It's pretty good. But like
Right.
CJ, this was CJ's series, and I really hope people kind of recognize this player as a future star in his own right. Yeah, that's my stand.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not like we hadn't seen multiple opportunities throughout this season to at least be like, hey, guys, CJ is actually still doing things. You know what I mean? Like, we still had multiple times where the man was top fragging, top rated throughout these games. And that's sort of just the obvious of it. But throughout this game, we saw CJ not only just fragging out and potentially being an anchor, being in a clutch situation. It was an extreme variety of situations for CJ throughout this game where he was able to kind of showcase himself. And that's the big thing with a lot of CS players. You do just kind of rely on being just a really good CT player and being able to control the factors, or of course, just thriving in the chaos. We saw everything and a little bit more from CJ throughout this game. So there you go. At least we do bite our tongue a little bit on that player to watch. But yeah, still at the end of the day, Nouns, they needed that sort of performance.
Yeah, I think over there on the side of Nouns, it's, looking. I mean, we're waiting for an interview, by the way. If you're just wondering, we're trying to get Rush on the call. We'll keep you guys posted on that one. For now, though, but looking at this on the other side, the flip side of this game, what is the future looking like for Elevate? I think their season's done. They got picked up by the organization. Missed out on the major. I mean, all you can really say is it's disappointing. And what's next on the chopping block for them? We'll have to see.
Yeah. I would just think, realistically speaking, for this Elevate team, that's a change has to be made, but not. We don't exactly know what that feeling is. It's just, I just got to say this. When you're looking at a roster that is almost unprecedented in esports, it's hard for you to kind of get an opinion around these guys. You don't see rosters staying together, cores staying together for 3, 4, 5+ years in what we're looking at here with the core of Elevate. So it is a really touchy subject for you to even be like, oh yeah, no, time to pick out one of these guys and time to slot in another one, because I mean, they wouldn't be on Elevate without each other. I mean, they needed to rely on each other for a long time for that core to even, compete. So in just a lot of ways here, Elevate, they do have a very tough offseason coming up in terms of ECL play, but we do have, again, quite a bit of competition for these guys coming up elsewhere. But for ECL play, we still have Nouns, and we have in front of us the new gun for this team. It is none other than Rush. Rush, what's up?
Yo, what's up?
Good that we can hear you. I mean, sometimes we've always had these kind of interviews. Oh, also rep the pup in the background, of course. But I mean, starting off, congratulations on the win. First and foremost, you guys are continually progressing on through. What's been the last month like for you?
It's been pretty up and down, I'd say. I was on PA, obviously, and I guess that's more than a month ago now. This time's kind of blending together, but yeah, I joined Nouns before the player break. I was kind of planning to do it after the player break, but it just makes more sense long term to do it ASAP to get the reps in and grow together. And we had some pretty good events to start, but then we kind of backslid a few times. But really, our only issue so far has been M80. We beat them the first time and then lost the last 2 times. So.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of just your role on this team, I feel as if it's kind of ironed out at this point that you are going to be a little bit more of a mentor for these guys. It's much more of a learning experience for them than it is for you. But how do you look at kind of, the structure of the team right now, the direction of whether it be the maturity of this roster, or whether it just be you just really trying to get these guys together to that next level, try to get them out of ECL?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they can definitely learn a lot from me, but also I can learn a lot from them because I took a long break from playing, and I, haven't played CS2 until maybe March of this year. So I can definitely learn from them. And Adren, the coach, does a lot of work for us, a lot of preparation, which helps us in the games. But overall, I think, I feel like I'm a good foundation for them to build from, and they're all young and hungry. So I'm looking forward to growing with them and hopefully qualifying for ESL Pro League, among other things. Like my main goal is ultimately the major, like any other player would be. But it's been a long time since I've been there due to COVID and just issues like being on EG Black. I couldn't qualify because it's our academy team. So I'm really motivated more than I've ever been since, I don't know, maybe like up to Cloud9 days. So I'm excited.
Let's go. That's awesome to hear.
go.
Just getting a little bit more specific on maybe you don't have to say if you have if it means anything, but what do you think has been the biggest thing you guys have been working on in the last couple of months, or at least the last month here on Nouns, to really get them up to snuff and maybe even get yourself a shot over at Pro League?
I think this translating the way we play in scrims to matches. I think people just get a little more, I won't say nervous, just like more, adrenaline from playing a match. We're playing, I think when I joined, we started playing a lot better, like the team as a whole, is what I've been told. So I think, yeah, we just got to translate that play, and we have been, but sometimes we backslide, like obviously on Ancient today, wasn't really a pretty game from us, but I think we showed, the true face of our team in the last two maps. So yeah, just basically getting more repetitions in, and I really hope we can get like some lands in, because that's the ultimate practice for anyone, even myself included. I only played one LAN for CS2 so far, which is, it was a tier 2 event as well. So just hoping we get LANs to go to, and you just get better innately from playing it. Just even if you get shit on at the LAN, you get better.
Yeah, and just another little kind of dig a little bit, just kind of tell me about one or two kind of bigger challenges that you've already faced with this team in this last month. Of course, doesn't need to be divulged. You could just kind of tell me about your hopes for the rest of this tournament more than anything. But if you would mind kind of entertaining us here, just what did you guys have to deal with already early on as you joined this team only a month ago?
I mean, the biggest issues were just in the beginning, because we had matches pretty much the next day that I joined. So it was ironing out our map pool and like seeing what we're comfortable on and what we can, like when I was playing the first two matches, some of the maps we hadn't even gone over. So it was just, I was like, they were calling a strat. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Like, it's like, it's kind of like that, but now it's gotten a lot more, like we've ironed out the map pool a lot, and obviously the vertigo changes came, but it's honestly hasn't been that hard. I feel like I've slotted in pretty well. A lot of the roles I'm playing, I've played for a long time before, and I'm comfortable playing them, so I've had no issues with them. And I guess like one thing is like just helping Carson more with the calling, because he's still a relatively new caller, so I'm still trying to get back individually, because it's only been like 3 months of playing, but I feel like I put in a lot of time individually, so now maybe I can start doing the extra effort of like bringing things for Carson and Jen and stuff like that.
Gotcha. It's like going back to the basics a little bit and kind of returning back to old form, starting over once again with a new group of guys. It's awesome to talk with you, Rush, and just to hear some of your insight and how Nouns continues to grow. Any final words before we close this one out?
Nope. Thanks for having us, and hopefully one of us talks to you soon again after a win or two. Hopefully
Much appreciated.
Two.
Peace out.
Yeah.
See ya.
What a guy.
Yeah, what a guy. First of all, absolutely jacked. What a tank. And secondly,
As always.
And also just humble. And that's something that, like, that's a joke. That's a running joke here in North America, is that we don't have a lot of that running around. But honestly, understanding that
Really?
we're taking a step back and we're building ourselves back into the space.
Yeah, no, again, it is just good to see that not only do these guys have realistic expectations, but there's still some high expectations. They just kind of pushed Rush out into the fire just about a month ago, and we're still seeing sort of that, sort of still seeing that base state here for Nouns going forward. But again, speaking of kind of throwing them into the fire, they just have ECL playoffs still to go fully underway. They did get past Elevate, but now the gauntlet starts for them.
Yes, the lower final, facing off against Party Astronauts tomorrow. If they are able to take it, they have to face off against Wildcard, where then M80, a true final boss, awaits in the grand. It can't get much better than this. On behalf of myself, Gus, Upmind, the Gutmind, thank you so much for standing in for Cole. He couldn't make it, and you showed up on notice, and you brought all your energy with you, and thank you so much for joining us. And you, the viewers at home, thank you as well for joining us. The admin and production squad for producing this. That's the end of the C stream. The side streams are done. I'm gone. He's gone. Join Mike and JRT for the main stream. We're on for the next 3 days. Peace out.